Stadium. It's the New England Patriots versus the Denver Broncos. Brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By Mitsubishi Motors, who invites you to come see the full line of cars and trucks. Mitsubishi, suddenly the obvious choice. And by McDonald's, it's a good time for the great taste.
The Mile High City, Denver, Colorado. It's springtime in the Rockies this December 6th. Temperature 63 degrees at the 2 o'clock kickoff here in Colorado. The New England Patriots and the Denver Broncos. Before 76,000 at Mile High Stadium. The Broncos, with a win, will be in first place in the AFC West. San Diego is losing to Houston. And for the New England Patriots, they need a win today to stay within the gridlock of the AFC East. And Indianapolis has just won. So for the moment, the Colts are in first place in the East.
On the far side of the field, Patriot leader Raymond Berry has taken his team through a roller coaster season. Injury after injury, problems have beset him. He's working with his 5th quarterback of the year, his 3rd offensive center. He's fighting his way through it.
And Dan Reeves, the winningest coach in Bronco history. The last 3 weeks have been dandies for the fans of Denver. Wins over the Bears, the Raiders, and the Chargers. This his 101st game as the head man for Denver, and his Broncos will get the ball first. Tony Franklin, who had a chance to win the game last week in New England and failed on a couple of field goal tries late. Kicking it deep to Ken Bell and Ricky Nattiel, and we're underway at Mile High Stadium. It skids down to Bell and then kicks out at the 1-yard line, so the Broncos will get it at the 35.
Almost a great kick. Might have gone into the end zone, then it had gone out on the 20.
John Elway brings the offense on. And we would like to welcome those viewers that are joining us here in Denver. The kickoff out of bounds. Denver takes over at the 35. Those that have just watched Indianapolis upset Cleveland 9-7. Elway brings the offense to the Broncos out at the 35-yard line. Ricky Nattiel far left. Mark Jackson to the right. The tight end Rick Kay on the right, and Orson Mobley left. Big draw. Elway comes out throwing, and the ball is batted down by Garen Veras, the defensive right end. Here is the offensive lineup for the Denver Broncos, with a chance to move not only into the lead in the West, but have the best record in the AFC. Elway with Winder and Lang running backs, Johnson and Jackson part of the Three Amigos, and Clarence Kay the tight end. The offensive line of Studdard, Bishop, Freeman, Humphreys, and Lanier. At 27, Elway having his greatest season. First time in the shotgun on 2nd down. Through the hands of Winder, the ball thrown a bit high, and he was well covered by Steve Nelson, the veteran linebacker. And here are the Patriots, who have lost 2 overtime games in the last 3 weeks. Kenneth Sims, the #1 pick, Toby Williams, and Garen Veras in the 3-4 set. Tippett, another all-pro year for him. Nelson in his final season in New England. Lawrence McGrew and Ed Williams. Ronnie Lepet, Fred Marion, Jim Bowman, and Ernest Gibson. The back 4, Gibson, of course, for the injured Raymond Claiborne. Boy, the Patriots have really been hit hard with injuries.
Decimated by injuries. 3rd and 10. This is Elway's forte. He's been on a tear the last few weeks on 3rd downs.
There's the scrambling. But he can't get away from number 52. Was it Johnny Rembert who dragged him down? Or Nelson?
52.
Rembert it was.
This is the kind of thing that Elway has done so well over the past few weeks. But they've got Rembert in a position where he is watching Elway, staying in the middle of the field, just coming across, showing you some excellent speed. They kept Elway from getting out of there to have a shot at that 1st down.
4th and 10, and an unknown figure in Denver. This man, number 2, Mike Oren, kicked only once last week, has had 3 one-punt games this year. That, of course, testimony to the Denver effectiveness with the ball. Irving Fryer at the 26 and skips out of bounds at the 27. And so for New England, Tom Ramsey, in only his 3rd start for the Patriots, number 12, and he's playing with a broken small finger on the left hand. And here's the offensive lineup that will accompany him: Tony Collins and Mosi Tutupu, Cedric Jones. Stanley Morgan will not play today, hamstring. Irving Fryer, the other wideout, and Lynn Dawson, the tight end. And a rebuilt offensive line.
They
Two rookies at the tackles.
Well, I'd say that'll make a defensive lineman drool, Dick. Pup Fairchild is also in there in place of Sean Farrell, who's not going to start today.
New England comes out throwing from the shotgun, and Ramsey underneath to Fryer for short yardage to the 32, a gain of 5. So the Patriots, and we talked to Raymond Berry yesterday, said, I love the shotgun. We're going to use it a lot today.
Hurry up offense. They're coming right out in it. This is the way they put 21 points on the board in a hurry. Fourth quarter last week, no huddle. Calling the plays on the line.
2nd and 5 for Ramsey, the former UCLA star. He guns it complete, and a fine catch on the ground by Stephen Starring, who is already in a prone position, picks off the pass and a first down.
What this does is keeps Denver's replacements off the field. Joe Collier likes to move people on and off the field. This makes it difficult. He's going to have to play with the 11 he's got out there.
11 yards on that pass by Ramsey, who gained over 400 yards, 402 yards in the loss in overtime to Philadelphia last weekend. To this side and wide open is Cedric Jones, number 83, the former Duke star.
Jones very effective last week against Philadelphia, particularly coming across the middle. They're going to hurry up again with the offense.
So we'll hurry through the lineup for the Broncos defensively. The front three: Rulon Jones, a Pro Bowler, Simon Fletcher. Reese says Mecklenburg has been as outstanding on defense as Elway has been on offense. And the back four: Randy Robbins for Dennis Smith out with a broken arm. Ramsey outside to Fryer, gain of 7 more to the Denver 37-yard line.
Several things you have to think about here. This means that Ramsey, not Grogan, calling his own plays. The danger of this in this stadium is that he has to call them audibly. If this crowd gets wind of that and senses that, you're going to hear a lot of noise. It's not going to be easy to get the signals in.
First running play and a flag down as Tony Collins has a first down. If it appeared that the Patriots jumped before the snap, Ramsey had completed 4 consecutive passes from the opening kickoff.
There were 4 wide receivers in on that play, and Ramsey came back to the running play.
But a motion call against New England will negate the first down.
Offense, left guard, illegal motion, 5 yards, still second down.
The one thing that interests me about this, I played in a game against Atlanta. They ran almost a full quarter without a huddle offensively. The one thing I remember defensively was giant fatigue. I was so tired that we were about to drop. Of course, they were tired too. These players are used to having a break so they can call the signals. Not getting that break is hard on both the offense and the defense.
You see that injured left hand as Ramsey again operating from the shotgun. And that one thrown behind Cedric Jones brings up 3rd down and 8. Just seems incredible. Here's a quarterback with needing all that touch and feel with all that bandage on that left finger. He says there isn't a lot of pain, but boy.
The one thing he was worried about was taking the snap. Of course, that left hand goes underneath as he takes the snap. He was worried about that initially, but he said he has not missed a snap. He did miss a couple of snaps last week. Ball up late. One of those led to 7 points that really hurt them in that loss to Philadelphia.
Injuries to Tony Eason and Steve Grogan opening the door for Ramsey, who has been a long-time backup, and he throws this one away as Starring was breaking inside and the pass went outside.
Ramsey upset. Either Ramsey is wrong or Starring is wrong. He believed that Starring would be breaking to the outside. Starring going inside, and they'll have to kick it away.
This is where it ended for the Patriots and Raymond Berry last year in the playoffs as the champions of the AFC East, and 11-5 record. They lost in the playoffs, 2nd round, to the Broncos 22-17, and we're certainly reminded of that fact by their coach Berry prior to this game. Ricky Nattiel, a dangerous return man. Bad snap, and there's the first break of the game. 45-yard line of New England.
Guy Morris, a longtime deep snapper, out of that lineup because of a broken hand. And of course that means that there are problems on the snap, both for the field goal unit and for the punter. You see what happens is Camarillo unable to pick that one off his shoe tops.
Elway comes out throwing, scrambling out of the cut. Gets away from one man, Sims, and finally knocked out of bounds at the 43-yard line. And a Patriot blocked from the blind side, trying to chase down Elway, is still on the ground.
John Elway giving us a little bit of that Tarkington roll as he starts to one side and go back in the opposite direction. But you see him as he gets to the outside. Elway has learned to be extremely patient. He'll take all the time he possibly can. And there you get a feeling he's also learned to get himself out of bounds and not take those extra shots.
Elway comes to the sidelines with a timeout for the injured player. Run down the scores for you. The Colts on 3 field goals by Biasucci beat the Browns in Cleveland. San Francisco, another win for Bill Walsh's crew as they head toward the playoffs, winning at Green Bay. The Eagles rallying. They were down by 13 points, have tied the Giants in the 4th quarter. Pittsburgh upsets Seattle, a mild upset. Washington apparently will win at St. Louis. Houston bombing San Diego as the Chargers about to taste their 3rd straight loss. Atlanta in a big surprise. The Falcons, who have been struggling, beat Dallas at Texas Stadium. Cincinnati hanging on by 3 late against Kansas City, and the Rams have won again at the Silverdome. Late games, no score at Los Angeles with the Bills, and it's 7-0 New Orleans leading Tampa Bay.
Dick, Danny Villa pressed into service as a snapper because of the injury to Guy Morris. That's an unfamiliar position for him. He's just trying to get a job done. That's a low snap. And Camarillo, who's a good athlete, simply unable to pick it off his shoe tops, gives Denver the early opportunity.
Garen Veras was the injured New England player, and they can ill afford to lose another key starter. Veras, one of their better pass rushers from that defensive end position. And watch what happens to him, number 60. He really gets nailed. He had his focus on Elway and didn't see the blocker.
And that's what happens to you so often when you're chasing a scrambling quarterback.
On 2nd and 8, first running play. There's a fumble, and that's something rare for the Broncos. And the New England Patriots have gotten it back, apparently. No official signal. There it is from Fred Silva. Ed Williams, number 54.
Only the 3rd fumble of the year, or the 4th fumble for these running backs from Denver in 242 carries. You're absolutely right, Dick. They hang on to that football as if it were pure gold. But let's take a peek and see if we can have it. The ball stripped away. Sims, number 77, reaching inside. And that's one thing that Raymond Berry started when he first went to the Patriots. He said, we are going to start stripping at that football. We are going to take it away from the opposition. That's exactly what he was talking about.
And they've been one of the best. They're plus 9 in turnovers this year. 4th best in the NFL. Ramsey to Tony Collins, and the blade charges out to the 47-yard line. Mike Harden and company with a tackle.
The Patriots have gone back to their standard offense as Ramsey now will be calling the plays as they are sent in from Steve Grogan, but we may still see them at some point later in the game going to that hurry-up offense. There's Grogan, special neck brace around his neck. He is ready to play if they need him today.
And next to him, number 2, Doug Flutie, who also could see action. On 2nd and 4. Collins again. And he has a first down in Denver territory at the 48-yard line before the nose tackle. 71, Greg Cragen, can get a hand on him.
One of the things that the New England Patriots want to do today is use their bulk up front. They're attacking the smallest front line in the NFL defensively. Cragen at nose tackle is a 240, 245-pounder. You see him being worked on up front right there as they're able to get that gap and take advantage of it.
10 minutes and 41 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And New England for the 2nd time in Denver territory. No score. Reggie Dupar, second-year man from SMU, is to the 45-yard line. Ricky Hundley, Greg Cragen with a stop.
Chance to look inside again. A better job by this Denver defense. Very quick reaction. 98. Ricky Hundley getting away from 61. Ron Wooten. And he was the man that broke up the timing on that play. Hundley, a very physical linebacker. Not having the kind of year he had last year, Dick.
Ramsey to throw. Scrambles. Fumbles. And recovers back to the 50. And there's where the finger bothers.
Wow. One of the things you're trained to do when you're running, and Ramsey, of course, does it instinctively, moves that ball from hand to hand. And, of course, that left hand with a cast on it doesn't hold down as easy. A good move here to get away from Rulon Jones. There, the ball on the ground. That's like finding some gold in your pocket right there. Bounced right back to him.
That was a good call, Merlin. You could see him trying to shift the ball to his left hand away from Jim Ryan, and as he made that shift, he dropped the ball. A -5 yards and a sack recorded to Denver. 3rd and a long 12. All-out blitz. The throw is for Derwin Williams, and he was well shut off. Number 28, Jeremiah Castile, had excellent coverage on the long throw by Ramsey, and the Patriots will give it up again. And, of course, there'll be a close attention to Danny Villa, the center.
Danny just hoping he can get this one back to the punter. Boy, there's nothing more frightening than having that kind of responsibility thrown in your lap and then starting badly on a day when you know that so many people around the country are tuned in. Oh.
Barris, a hip pointer, may not return. Casey Clark is a deep man. And here's Villa's second snap. Little low, but there. Camarillo drills it. Clark will let that go into the end zone. Out of the end zone on the fly, and the Broncos will start with a touchback at the 20-yard line. No score. 9:13 left in this first quarter as Denver's offense comes on the field. And a look at the history of this series, which is the oldest of the old American Football League days. In fact, the AFL was born on a Friday night at Nickerson Stadium in Boston when the Broncos beat the host Patriots, the Boston Patriots, in the first ever AFL game. Last 8 games, home team has won. Look at the bottom one. Broncos haven't lost to the Patriots here in 20 years. That's 5 games. But it's been a long time since New England's come out of the Mile High City with a victory.
Good pursuit inside out. Fred Marion, number 31, out there as that play was strung out to him. Dick, just a tag to that. These New England Patriot veterans have yet to win a game on the road this year. So they're looking for their first road victory of this season. Their strike team was able to win on the road, but not the veterans.
Brent Williams, 96, is in for the injured Garen Veras. Lang picked up about 3 on the play. 2nd and 7. Play action. Elway drills. Wide open is Mark Jackson, and a first down at the 48.
A play designed to look like one of the plays that hurt New England so much last year. The wham inside, but they don't wham. It's play action. And Mark Jackson, number 80, has a big hole in that New England secondary as Ronnie Lepet, number 42, finally nailed him down. That's a big first down for the Broncos.
First down, Elway into the shotgun. To the New England 45-yard line before Jim Bowman can knock him out of bounds.
Dick, let's talk about some of the things that shotgun does to help John Elway. When he gets into that shotgun, the first thing that he has is some depth, so he can get back to his passing depth, which is about a 7-step drop, about 10 yards right away. He doesn't have a blind side. He's always facing the entire field. It also gives him a chance not to have to worry about taking those first few steps back. And sometimes that's a nervous time for a quarterback.
Now Elway comes up into the under center position with only Winder as his tailback and Mobley in motion. Raw to Winder. And first down and more out to the 35 of New England. 8 more yards. Fred Marion, number 31.
When you see Elway drop back, you start thinking pass. And of course, right then they were attacking on that side, and Brent Williams in for Garen Veras. They got him thinking about getting upfield to rush the passer, and then trapped him.
Vance Johnson was injured earlier in the week, and they didn't know whether he would start today or whether he would play much, but he said he felt better as the week progressed, but is down on that play.
The injury list for these two teams growing at a frightening rate.
Injured starters, just to give you an idea, and of course at this stage of the season there's a list something like that for every NFL team, but New England, even Denver, had to admit it's been a rough time for the Patriots. Eason and Greg James a starter. Stanley Morgan doesn't start today. Farrell doesn't start today. Moore a tackle. Pete Brock, the veteran center. Morris, the man who replaced him. Don Blackman, a Pro Bowl linebacker, and Raymond Claiborne, one of the great quarterbacks.
I'll tell you, you look down that list, there are a lot of great players on that list. You're asking Raymond Berry of New England to play without that list, and some of those are all pros on that list.
Let's go back to Van Johnson. Watch number 82. He's trying to block on the play.
Denver insists on the blocking by the wide receivers. He's coming in right there to try and help you. Yeah, if we can find him. Here he is, right in front of the runner on that play, Gene Lang. And Lang actually drives into him, and I believe he's hurt by his own man on that play. I think it's Lang that drove into the back of him.
Right into the calf. It appeared the full weight of the runner went right on the back of the leg of Johnson.
He's holding his ribs or his side. Hard to tell. Maybe an arm injury. Steve Antonopoulos, the center, he's holding that left arm. Looked like Johnson's shoulder, like Lang's shoulder may have driven into the back of that arm or the shoulder.
Taking him right into the locker room. Johnson with a string of 6 consecutive games with a touchdown pass.
Their hottest receiver. Not the kind of guy you want to see in the locker room before the end of the first quarter.
First down. Elway to throw. And to Clarence Kay, the tight end, incomplete. Ernest Gibson on the coverage.
One of the things that amazes me about Elway is the strength of his arm, but he also whips the ball. A baseball-like motion. Watch how quickly he gets that. Boy, that ball is in the air and gone. He does not give defensive backs a chance to recover. That ball travels so swiftly that you better be on top of your man or you're not going to have a chance to get to it.
That was a second baseman's throw to complete the double play. Elway off to a 1 out of 4 start and 25 yards. The only completion to Jackson. So on third down, check that second down, he goes to the shotgun. Complete, and he had a man wide open. Natil. Not a good throw by Elway.
Just looking back, Dick, the first game we did last year between these two teams here in Denver, Elway told me later it was the worst half of football he could ever remember playing.
That was 13-3 at the half.
Just 13-3 New England ahead at the half, and Elway just before the half threw a pass as far as he could throw it, aired it out, and he said that kind of cleared his mind, came back and had a great half in the second half. Of course, they were able to defeat New England in that ball game. But Elway not throwing as well here in the first half as we've seen him throw.
They've been running out of the shotgun about 50% of the time the last 3 weeks, and so it seems in this first quarter today. Going for it all, and it's not intercepted. Fred Marion had it in his hands, juggled in front of Rick Massey, number 85. Marion so close to his 3rd interception of the year.
Watch Tippett trying to come outside on Ken Lanier, the big tackle, big dog himself, and he is just going to drive him to the outside, not give him a chance to get in there on Elway. Tippett has to maintain that outside position because of Elway's scrambling ability.
Well, the Broncos may come out of this with the first down. A flag was thrown back around the 10-yard line. Crowd reacting to a scoreboard announcement that Houston leading San Diego 33-11.
There was no foul on the play. It's 4th down.
They pick up the flag.
Flag is picked up. Look how close New England came to having that football in hand. It's in hand until they get to the ground. So close to the interception.
A 52-yard field goal attempt by Rich Carlos. His longest ever is 51. It is no good. So we still are without a score. 6:46 remaining in this first quarter at Mile High Stadium. Now let's go to NFL Live. Bob Costas in New York.
Dick, we talked about Bo Jackson on the pregame show. Here he is catching the 14-yard pass from Mark Wilson. The Raiders go 80 yards in 11 plays in the first quarter for a 7-0 lead over Buffalo.
Well, Bo Jackson, we were talking to Dan Reeves yesterday at practice. The coach of the Broncos said, I'm not a big baseball fan, but boy, am I going to be rooting for the Royals. I'd like to see Jackson hit 400 next year. Oh, he's got the attention of everyone in the NFL. So after the missed field goal, New England starts from the 34. Tipped and incomplete. So no interference. The ball was tipped, intended for Lynn Dawson.
Carl Mecklenburg on top of Dawson, and you're absolutely right, Dick. People are saying, why don't you call interference? Once the ball is tipped, you can't call that. And Mecklenburg, of course, had he timed it out, he saw the ball coming, he would have been there with the ball.
Crowd reacting to the final score. Pittsburgh beating Seattle 13-9. And now they all know here at Mile High Stadium a win by their beloved Broncos. And they are not only in first place, but potentially will have the best record in the entire AFC. Fryer running out of the backfield and running well to the 40 and 44-yard line, a yard shy of a first down. Harden and Castile with the tackle, 9 yards on the game.
One thing these Patriots do lack out of that backfield is speed. So they brought Fryer in. They did this last week, a couple of weeks ago. He got a 12-yard gain on that occasion. Here he is again with a nice pickup, showing you some elusiveness. Raymond Berry talked to us yesterday. He said we weren't getting it done offensively. He said we've got to start putting more people in there, getting more out of our people on the field offensively.
Double tight end set. Only Collins behind Ramsey on 3rd and 1, and Ramsey to throw. Way over the head of Cedric Jones. The Patriots unable to pick up the first down. Will have to punt for the 3rd time in this first quarter with 5 minutes and 51 seconds left. Scoreless. Ramsey and Elway, as chronicled during the week, growing up 2 miles from one another, attending high schools in the northwest San Fernando Valley. Elway going to Stanford, Ramsey to UCLA. Here they meet today in Denver. Camarillo, a wobbly kick. K.C. Clark gathers it at the 18 and is down at the 27. 38-yard punt, 9-yard return. They're in overtime. The Eagles and Giants. Winners Indianapolis and San Francisco. Seattle loses to Pittsburgh. Washington wins again. And Houston about to go 7-5, the Oilers. Atlanta, maybe the biggest surprise of the day. Kansas City. Boy, Cincinnati finds a way again to lose a big lead. They're in overtime against the Chiefs. Raiders jump out in front 10-0, and so does New Orleans 14-0 against Tampa Bay. Again, it appeared to be Sims this time. 77.
Kenny Sims, better known for his play against the run. I'll tell you, without Garon Veras, they've lost their best pass rushing lineman out there. This New England defense fired up. Watch number 77, left-hand side of your screen. Driving as they're stunning tip it inside. He's going outside on Lanier. Look how high he goes. Boy, that ball hit him right in the chest. That hurt.
First player picked in the 82 draft, and of course has been bothered by injuries, broken leg twice, ruptured disc, and hoping to stay healthy and help the Patriots. They don't have too many healthy folks. Second down shotgun. Off balance throw, and he just got rid of that into an open spot. His receiver K well covered.
Elway slow getting up, Dick, as it looked like he twisted that leg a little bit. And you see him coming to the sideline. Look at Elway. Shaking his head. Watch Sims, number 77. Elway throwing this football, and as he delivers the football, puts the weight forward. Sims, who's been knocked down by Lanier, right into that leg, and you see the leg twist back under Elway. boy, it's a wonder he's able to get back up, and he's still in there.
3rd and 10. Elway, 1 completion in 8 tries. Uncharacteristic of a man who has been torrid. Under pressure from Tippett. Dumps it off wide open to Natil, and he has a first down at the 50. Well, the mobility of the quarterback equals first down.
They're blessed here in Denver to have a young man like Ricky Natil. Their number 1 receiver right at the moment. Johnson is in the dressing room. Well, here's the number 2 guy who is going to make his mark. Many here feel that he may end up being the finest of these Denver receivers, maybe the best ever here in Denver. Watch Elway. Another sharp hit. Looking at it from the down position.
Not a good seat.
No, not a good seat.
His second completion of first down, and Winder. They have fumbled again. Yes, Ed Williams comes out with the ball. Number 54 laterals, and Bowman goes to the 43-yard line before Mark Jackson can make the tackle, and New England has the ball again.
A very, very strange start to this game. Only 3 fumbles so far on the season by the veteran backs of this Denver Bronco team, and here early in this ball game already 2 fumbles.
And Winder, who had fumbled only once all year, has 2 in the first quarter today. Now Williams thinking Bowman, 28, trailing the play, says, hey, give it to me. He said, oh, you get in front and block instead.
What, me block?
So New England from the 43-yard line. No score. Ramsey to throw. Looking for Fryer, and the pass is short. Steve Wilson, 45 on the coverage.
Dick, how unusual is it to see this man fumble twice in one game? Last year, handled the ball 266 times, either by pass or on the run, and 0 fumbles. Best in the NFL.
And it appeared to be Kenneth Sims, a man who has really played a big first quarter, who got his hand in there again to strip it away. A key injury in the backfield for Denver. Will Hyde and Sewell, 2 running backs. Collins wrapped up by Hundley after a gain of 3. And after 4 consecutive completed passes by Ramsey, he's gone 6 without a hit. And it's 3rd down and between 7 and 8.
I wonder how much that rivalry, that personal rivalry between the 2 of these fine athletes would enter into a game. I would imagine there is some of that that's unconsciously entered it, perhaps more for Ramsey, who does not have the success of an Elway.
Played in front of Jay Schrader at UCLA. Schrader now the starting quarterback again with the Redskins. Open is Williams, and Derwin Williams, just activated this week, has a first down at the Bronco 30-yard line. 12 yards to match the number on the back of the man who threw it to him.
A victim of a Thanksgiving dinner. Got a little too much to eat, ended up with stomach pains, and went in. They diagnosed it as a pancreas problem. They said he'd eaten a little too much at the table on Thanksgiving. He's back in the lineup. Of course, it's important because of Morgan's absence here today.
Tough enough game, but the hazards of the holidays.
Boy, I tell you, the holidays are tough, Dick.
Third penetration of Denver territory by the Patriots, and now Ramsey on the run. Throwing to Fryer, and that ball winding up in the 3rd row.
One thing Ramsey does have is a strong arm, and in comparing the quarter, of course, Eason went down with the shoulder separation, and Grogan went down with a shoulder injury. Ramsey, more like Eason, he would prefer the possession patterns, and of course, Grogan, who calls the plays, knows that, and will be calling plays that he knows that Ramsey prefers.
Reverend Grogan, number 14, his parents are here. They watch the game from Kansas. His dad, a former high school coach in Ottawa, Kansas. Second and 10 draw to Collins. Boy, did he set up his block and make a nice move inside, and a first down at the Broncos 17, 13 yards for Tony Collins.
The Broncos overloaded the right side defensively and then slanted back to the left. Collins starts to his right. Watch him cut back. He takes advantage of an overreaction by the eager Denver defense and finds a nice hole to get upfield.
Collins may be one of the underrated players in this league.
A very complete player. Will block for you. A great receiver. 11 receptions last week for 100 yards.
Deepest penetration of the game. This is Mosi Tutupu, and the veteran from Southern California is close to the 10-yard line before Freddie Gilbert, number 90, can make the tackle. And there's a man returning from injury, Gilbert of the Broncos.
The one thing the Broncos would like to see defensively, they don't want to see that New England team on the field this long. They want to try and shut them down, because New England's philosophy here is to try and control the football, control the clock, keep Elway off the field.
2nd and 5 from the 11. Reggie Dupard, the second-year man from SMU, has a touchdown. Dupard's first NFL touchdown from 10 yards out. And look at Barry smile.
Defensively, these Broncos rate 13th in the league, but they rank 21st in the league against the running game. Dupard able to take advantage of some laxness in that run defense, explode into that end zone.
So Tony Franklin will try to add the extra point, and here it's tough. Ramsey with that bad finger will be the holder.
He's going to hold with his left hand on top of the ball. That's exactly opposite to the way he'd been doing it earlier. He had put his right hand on top of the ball earlier before he broke that finger.
Primarily using their ground game with Tony Collins and Reggie Dupard. They capitalize on the second winder fumble, and New England takes the lead 7-0 with 1.5 minutes remaining in the opening quarter.
Go back and look at that play. Twice in a row they've gone with big gains to Carl Mecklenburg's side. Rulon Jones trying to spin out, and Mecklenburg trying to get back inside, but Reggie Dupard showing you some good quickness as he gets around to lunge into the end zone.
Well, the next Mustang of SMU, as is his coach Raymond Berry. Dupard, 21.
A chance to watch from the end zone. You saw 75 Rulon Jones spinning inside to open the hole, and that was Mecklenburg who over pursued to the outside. You saw him a moment ago getting a little too eager to the inside, and sometimes that happens to an eager defense. A lot of quickness on this Denver defense, and right now New England is cutting back against the grain and taking advantage of it.
Dupard was the first draft choice of the Patriots last year, and New England, with 1:37 left in the first, has the 7-0 lead.
The one thing that New England hoped to be able to do is to get a low-scoring game today. They feel they can stay in a low-scoring game with Denver, not a scoring contest with Denver.
Tony Franklin to kick off. That's Ken Bell, 35, and Ricky Nattiel, 84.
Good kick.
Bell at the 4. Boy, having trouble hanging on are the Broncos. And Bell coughs it up, and the Broncos recover at the 15. It was sitting out there in an open patch, and the Broncos, I believe it was Nattiel, was able to grab it.
Yeah, Ricky Nattiel, and it's a fight for the ball as Derwin Williams, number 82, jumped on top of Nattiel and tried to steal a football, but the officials right on the case said no, he's down.
Oh, the Broncos trailing 7-0 begin from their 15. Welcome aboard at Mile High Stadium. Those of you who have just seen the Houston Oilers beat the San Diego Chargers 33-18. Houston goes 7-5, San Diego 8-4. New England has just scored here late in the first quarter after a fumble recovery at the Patriot 43. Dupard, a 10-yard run, and now Denver starts from his 15, and Winder, who has fumbled twice in the quarter after coughing up the ball only once all year, is hammered hard as he gets to the 17. On the outside, Ronnie Lepet covering Mark Jackson.
A little fisticuffs, a little physical action as Lepet, angry, goes back at Jackson to say a few words to him, and Jackson, well, I don't know what it was he said. He did not like it, though.
43 yards after the fumble recovery in 7 plays. Primarily the yardage on the ground, and Dupard running 10 for the score. Well, Elway, shotgun, second down. Orson Mobley, that one blocked by Andre Tippett. So that's the third pass in the first quarter that Elway has had blocked right back into his face.
Elway's got to wonder how many arms these guys have when they're coming in there. Sims got one a few moments ago. Garen Veras got one early. And this time it's Tippett coming in from the left side. Look how quickly he's in the air. Look how high he is. Great leaping ability by number 56, Andre Tippett, who timed it perfectly and batted that ball away.
Elway has been brilliant the last 3 weeks, gaining almost 1,100 yards, but he's only 2 for 10 passing in this first quarter. Third and 8. Good catch by the tight end, Kay, and a first down and a flag down.
Rod McSwain is over here muscling on Ricky Nattil, but I think they'll just refuse it and take the first down.
15 yards if. Ball spotted out across the 31-yard line. The flag was thrown away from the play.
Holding, defense, decline, first down.
So the Broncos have the first down with 29 seconds left in the first quarter.
Elway has been taking a very solid beating after he throws that football. You see him hit again, but like a good quarterback, he'll stand in there, I'll tell you, till that last second, and he knows exactly where those receivers are. That was a good reception by Mobley.
Those of you joining us, Garen Veras, the starting defensive end, injured early. He's out, and Brent Williams has replaced him. Steve Nelson comes up to make the hit on Winder as the final seconds tick away. This first quarter in beautiful Denver on a spring-like day in December. The score after one, New England 7, the Broncos nothing.
A tradition of horsepower. For the second consecutive year, Budweiser racing teams captured 3 national championships. Bobby Rahal in the Bud Indy car. Kenny Bernstein in the Budweiser King. And Jim Cropfeld in Miss Budweiser. It's a tradition of horsepower that keeps Budweiser ahead of the pack. Racing fans.
Eric, smile!
Eric, smile. Eric waved to Daddy. Phooey. Since they got that little RCA camcorder, I get no peace. It's so easy. He takes it everywhere. Dad. Oh, well, I guess someday I'll look back at this and laugh.
Finally, a VHS camcorder so small, so easy to use, it doesn't miss a thing. Trust RCA to bring it to you. The Small Wonder VHS from RCA.
Mitsubishi knows you want a truck to be tough. But we also know you want more for your money. Mitsubishi Mighty Max trucks give you more. Up to 2.6 liters of power, a 5-speed stick, more standard features for less than Toyota, Nissan, or Mazda. Even the lowest priced macro cab. The new Mitsubishi Mighty Max trucks. Mitsubishi, suddenly the obvious choice.
Welcome back to Denver, Colorado's Mile High Stadium, and we welcome those of you who have just seen the overtime game. Cincinnati beating Kansas City 30-27. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen.
Dick, all of us who have a chance to work with you at NBC know how talented you are, and it's a pleasure for us to notice that other people notice that too, as the American sportscasters have named you again for the 3rd time as the outstanding broadcaster in the country.
You know, that's a nice number. Thank you, Merlin, because that's 1 for you and 1 for Al McGuire and 1 for Bud Collins. So we got the slate covered.
I don't know about that, but we're proud of you, my friend.
Thank you. Denver Broncos trail 7-0 as we open the second quarter. Denver's ball, 33-yard line, 2nd and 8. Elway guns it deep and through the hands of Ricky Nattil inside the 45 of New England. Here's the numbers of the first 15 minutes.
These are not the numbers you would expect from a red-hot John Elway. As you look at that, 30 yards rushing and only 64 yards in the air. Denver over 500 yards last week. And look at the yardage for the Patriots. They're dead even on the day. Time of possession slightly in favor of the Patriots.
Yeah, the 2 fumbles given up by Winder, and there was a bad snap on a punt for New England, not a turnover, but served that same purpose, and hitting only 25% of his throws are John Elway.
Elway told me when he gets into a bad quarter like this, he just wants to throw as deep as he can, get that ball aired out.
Here's the scrambling talent. And out of bounds at the 40-yard line, close to a first down, a bit shy, I believe, 7 yards.
And Dick, we saw Elway twisted around badly earlier as Kenny Sims collided with him. That leg twisted back underneath him. He has been limping a little bit. He is not running as freely as we've seen him run. I think that leg is hurting him.
And it is not good enough for the first down. 4th and 1 for Elway. Let's see what impact. He's the kind of player that will really mask injury. He just does not want to come out. And sometimes the Regis said almost it's a negative for him. I'd rather know that if he's hurting.
They're going after the punt here. Here they come.
Pryor is deep. Horan just gets it away. Horan hits it high toward the far sidelines, and it kicks out of bounds at the 23-yard line.
Look how close they come to taking this punt as Horan a little bit slow getting that ball away. Woof.
You know, in the 40 years I've been in this business, I've run into some pretty tough customers. The toughest people who buy luxury cars. They want everything. So we're going to give them what they want. Our new Crystal Key Owner Care program. For 5 years or 50,000 miles, you put in the gas, do the normal upkeep, and Chrysler will do everything else. 5 years, whatever goes wrong, it's on us. Engine, air conditioning, steering, electrical, everything. No deductibles, no ifs, ands, or buts. In the 6th and 7th year, we still give you engine, powertrain, and outer body rust-through protection. And by the way, if you need anything, there's even a 24-hour hotline. But here's the best part. The Crystal Key program starts right now with the new Chrysler New Yorker and Landau. Not even Rolls-Royce or Mercedes can match it. What's it take to be the best? You got it. Everything.
It's your new telephone from AT&T. It's cordless, has 2 channels for clarity, and knows you have more to do than just talk on the phone.
No, you're not keeping me from anything.
And you found it at Kmart. Is Kmart America's favorite store?
There's a new Stonewash jean made for a man after his work is done. American Hero Jeans from Wrangler.
Today's game is brought to you by Chrysler. Chrysler believes a luxury car should be a great driving car. At Chrysler, we're driving to be the best. By RCA, the most trusted name in electronics. And by the American Express card. Membership has its privileges. Don't leave home without it.
Tom Ramsey brings the Patriots out behind that rebuilt offensive line. A pair of rookies at tackle. Sean Farrell not starting today. Stanley Morgan will not play today with a hamstring. And Reggie Dupard, who has the game's only touchdown, is out to the 26-yard line. Let's check on other NFL news in New York.
Well, Dick, the Bengals almost blew another one. They led 17-3. They were tied at the end of regulation by Nick Lowry's last-ditch field goal, but here's Jim Breach in overtime, booting one through for the Bengals, and they win one. First at home this year after 6 straight losses, 30-27.
All right, Bob, so Cincinnati goes 4 and 8. The throw to Collins is out of his range. Heavy coverage from Hundley and Harden. We talked about the New England injury list, and Denver has some key players as well, all starters.
Will Height down with a broken leg. Sewell, broken jaw. Watson, 6 broken ribs. He's back and running. He's the only one they really think has a chance to come back. Bryant, a severe knee injury. Dennis Smith, broken arm. But Watson, by the way, is practicing catching balls being shot by one of those ball machines. He wants to get ready for Elway's rocket. That is good training, isn't it?
3rd down and 6. Tom Ramsey in his 3rd NFL start. Gonna run it. And I guess they're waiting for him to slide. It's almost as if suspended motion defensively. And finally, Ramsey ducks down with a first down at the 45-yard line. 20-yard scamper.
As Ramsey heads upfield, you'll see number 31, Mike Harden, is playing man-to-man, has his back to Ramsey. That's Rick Dennison, 55 right there. There's Harden. And because he was playing man-to-man on Williams, he didn't see Ramsey coming. Ramsey not afraid to use his running talents, and he is not a bad runner.
That's one of the top runs of the entire season for New England. Struggled with the running game since their Super Bowl year a couple seasons ago. They line up tight end Dawson in the backfield.
Wham! Whoa! Good play on the nose.
Tony Collins gets a couple. The NBC 10-minute ticker. The finals: Indianapolis, San Francisco, and the Giants winners. As are Pittsburgh, Washington, Houston, Atlanta in an upset, Cincinnati in overtime. The Rams win again. Charles White over the 1,000-yard mark. Raiders lead Buffalo Bills by 3, and New Orleans 14-0 lead cut in half by Tampa Bay. Here at 7-0 New England. 12 minutes left, first half. Collins runs into a lot of orange at the 50-yard line. Andre Townsend, 61, and plenty of help. There's Townsend from University of Mississippi. He's played both on the outside and on the inside for the Broncos. Usually one of the noisiest stadiums in the league, and fairly quiet, these Denver fans thus far. Now they come to life on 3rd and 5. Fryer in motion. Ramsey has to eat it at the 38. Roland Jones and Carl Mecklenburg, the two Pro Bowlers.
Sack of the day. Roland Jones, who has not had the spectacular season he had last year, a very intense player. Many feel that the strike bothered him more than it did others, but he comes in and does a great job of blowing by on that play. Danny Villa, rookie tackle, trying to keep him out of there, not having much luck that time.
So Camarillo to kick. Casey Clark back at the Denver 16. Drives it, but it's a low kick. 20 and to the 25. Clark, and the flag goes in. 47-yard kick, a dozen on the return, and we'll check the penalty. And since many of you have joined us while this game has been in progress, watching the first half of our NBC doubleheader, if you're first, Mr. Silva.
On the run back, number 51, the illegal block, above the waist, 10 yards, first down.
Dan Reeves' expression tells the story of having to assimilate that penalty, and so instead of decent field position, the Broncos start at the 13. A timeout. 11:16 left in the opening half.
Just in time, American Express introduces Purchase Protection. It insures almost any retail item you buy with the card for a full 90 days in case it's accidentally damaged, stolen, or simply flies away. You don't buy this protection. It comes automatically only with the American Express card. Membership has its privileges.
Come on, everybody. Let's have a breakfast dance. But McKinsey's gonna do it. There's nothing to it. The Bud Light Slide. We'll tell them dance right when the music's hot. Have a cold Bud Light to the Bud Light Slide.
Bud McKenzie parties with only Bud Light. He knows everything else is just a light.
Go, Bud. Go. Have a cold Bud Light to the Bud Light Slide.
Whether it's a simple office phone or a large, custom-tailored telecommunications system, whether it's voice only or voice and data, digital switching, transmission equipment, tie lines, Watts lines, multiple long-distance hookups. There's one company that can do it all. No, GTE.
The NFL plays here next Sunday.
Machine Gun Kelly leads the Buffalo Stampede into the Hoosier Dome to take on Eric Dickerson and the Colt 45.
Or veteran gunslinger Dan Fouts tries to keep his Chargers atop the AFC West as they host the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Next Sunday, the action starts with NFL Live.
Yeah, those Steelers with 7-5. Chuck Noll's done an outstanding job, and their playoff hopes built by their win today against Seattle.
Center Mike Freeman taking the place of Billy Bryan, great Broncos center. He's the man that has to make the calls in there offensively for the line.
Robbie Mitchell in motion as the blocker, and it's Sammy Winder getting outside to the 21-yard line. And a pickup of about 8 behind the block of Clarence Kay. Fred Marion with the tackle.
Winder able to find room outside. Looking inside, you'll see some blocking as Freeman goes to cut off Toby Williams. That's Stephen Humphrey's 79. There was no room inside, but just a good piece of running, getting away from the linebacker and breaking outside. Winder, a tough football player.
Leading rusher for the Broncos, you saw him leading again this year, and he gets the ball. First down. Protecting the football after he had coughed it up twice in the first quarter.
We talked about how unusual that was. Did not cough it up last year. Led the NFL in ball security. These Bronco backs only fumbled 3 times coming in today. And Winder, I'm sure, doing his best to try to atone for those 2 costly miscues.
10:45 left in the first half. Superman Sam. 7-0 New England. Broncos have lost only 6 times here at home in the last 37 games. As Merlin pointed out, the Patriots regulars have not won on the road and have not won here in 20 years. Natil can't hang on as he took a hit from Ernest Gibson.
They say no catch. Ernest Gibson has come in to play for Raymond Claiborne. And he's a hitter. He's not afraid to pop you. He knows they're going to try and find him and work on him, but watch the way he attacks here. Streaking in, Natil has the ball in his hands, but not for long, as Gibson just lowers the shoulder and knocks it away. That's good timing on the hit.
Ruled not in the control. And from those angles, tough to see.
No, I think he's absolutely right. The ball bouncing as Gibson put the shoulder to Natil.
2nd and 10. They run out of the shotgun. This is Gene Lang. Kicking free and close to a first down at the 36. Behind the block of Stephen Humphrey. 9 yards. Jim Bowman, the tackler. Lang from Pass Christian, Mississippi, and his partner in the backfield, Winder from Madison, Mississippi. Lang went to LSU and was a late pick, 11th round pick in '84 of Denver. 2 backs that get the job done for Dan Reeves. Not spectacular, but they usually don't make mistakes, and they're complete in that they'll block for each other and they'll run, and they're fairly good receivers.
Not that kind of today for Elway. He has had problems on 3rd down today.
Nice motion against the Broncos. Several men were moving early.
This Bronco offense does not appear to be in sync. I don't know what it is, whether they just slept late this morning and didn't get out of their beds or read the injury reports for New England.
Number 54, offense, false start.
He wasn't the only one. Keith Bishop is picked out.
I think Freddie Silva's got a cold. What do you think, Dick? He's having a little, he's way down in the bottom. Bishop, a very dependable lineman, but it looked like Elway staggered that count a little bit. As you see, Gary Kubiak and Dan Reeves, who will both be signaling in. One will be signaling a play, the other formation, as Elway takes them and drops back into the huddle.
Instead of 3rd and 1, it's 3rd and 6 here in the 2nd quarter. 7-0 New England. The tight end Kay moving out as a slot on the right. Good protection. And the catch by Rick Massey, number 85. breaks free to the 40. Rembert saved a touchdown. Massey's 9th catch of the year.
Elway with time as Massey works on McSwain, and even though McSwain is right there, makes a good move, Elway is so strong, he just whipped that ball inside. Right at the end of this play, New England lucky. It looked like they got a hold of the face mask. There's one face mask. Watch it again here. As the tackle is by Rembert, you see the head snap down momentarily, but no call by the official.
Denver to the 40 of the Patriots. A 29-yard play. Winder. And a flag down as Nelson and veteran Julius Adams. There's some real experience in on that tackle. Nelson in his 14th year and Adams at 39 in his 16th season.
Offense, number 62. Holy. 10 yards. Still first down.
Mike Freeman, the center.
An inexperienced center, we mentioned to you that he has had to step in. Larry Lee had that job for a while, but had only been here a short time coming from Miami. And Freeman, who'd been through the training camp, been in the system for a while, had a better grasp of being able to make the calls. He is not as physical an athlete as Larry Lee, but has worked effectively in there. Unfortunately got called using those hooks a little bit on that last play.
Interesting on first down. Elway does not go to the shotgun on 1st and 20. Chased. And a little screen to Lang, who picks up about 6 yards. A reminder.
A great play by Tippett. Great read.
A reminder, Merlin, to our viewers that we'll be selecting our Budweiser Most Valuable Player. And that, of course, to be announced at the conclusion of today's game. 2nd down. And, well, it's a long 14 as Mobley ducks his head in the huddle with a play from the sidelines. And Dan Reeves, whose alma mater, the South Carolina Gamecocks, really put the scare on Miami.
On Miami last night. I bet Reeves was proud of his folks. He would love to have seen an upset there. No question about it. He's proud of his. Calls that USC, of course. And that's not the USC we see down here. But
Elway guns it down the middle to Jackson.
Face mask.
Look at the flags fly. Everyone saw that one, and it's a first down at the 25 plus the face mask.
That might be a flagrant 15-yarder.
Team Profit 22. One of those with his hands into that mask.
Chance to watch that last play.
Defense, number 22.
Looking at the wide play now. Matteo coming from the top will find room inside. And Elway just guns that football. Profit late getting there. 22 reaches around. You see him grabbing the mask. And when you use it to tackle a man, that's the flagrant use of it.
And Jackson actually had to stop, kind of refit his helmet, and in the process lost the ball, but the play was over at that point. Half the distance to the goal line, a major penalty to the 12, and the Broncos are as close as they've been in this game, trailing 7-0. Winder drawing a crowd, well read by Steve Nelson, who shut off the corner and waited for help.
What a great year Nelson is. What a great career Nelson has had.
Patriots have not done well in defending that goal line close in.
Not the kind of stat that Nelly would be proud of, but he's had 14 years in the NFL, and really a proud one, I'll tell you. He's been hurt a lot in the process, but the one thing he brings to you, he brings great leadership. He is like a coach on the field. Rod Rest able to just flip some calls out to him, and Nelly makes all the adjustments out there.
2nd down, 11. Winder in the flat. Dragged down by Nelson at the 5. That'll be 8 yards and 3rd down and 3.
In his 14th year, Nelly's lost a little bit of that great quickness he had as a youngster, but he still knows how to get himself into position. The one thing that Elway is acquiring, and you see it there, is such a good feel for reading the defense. He said, as I'm going back on my 2nd step, I know what the defense is, and he said, I know where I've got to look. You saw it there as he got the ball off quickly to the back.
At the 6-yard line, 3rd and between 3 and 4.
Shovel
Tony Bodie, and it didn't fool anyone.
Toby Williams, the nose tackle. Beautiful play inside. That little shovel pass designed as a trap, really. It's like a running play on the defensive end. Looking from behind. Now watch it. They'll just try and pull the guard, Stephen Humphreys, 79, to trap. But Williams, coming from inside, not fooled at all. He's there along with Lawrence McGrew, number 50, to make the tackle.
This will be a short 29-yard attempt by Rich Carlos, who checked that 24 yards by Carlos after missing from 52 in the first quarter. Kubiak the holder. And Denver has scored. 5:07 remaining in the first half. New England by 4.
The stars are gonna twinkle and shine. How they'll shine this evening about 8:45. I know I won't be late. Oh, that half-past 8. I'm gonna hurry there. I'll be waiting where.
They say time is what you make it. At Citizen, we prefer making it beautiful.
About 8:45.
Citizen.
Round of lights here?
Ask for Bud Light. The light beer with the first name and taste.
Let me know when you're ready for another round.
Because everything else is just a light.
14
If you had all the experience of yesterday, with all the skill and innovation of today, you couldn't lose. Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Carry the caring card.
All the excitement and raw enthusiasm of college basketball is back on NBC. Next Saturday, Digger Phelps leads the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame into the Windy City to battle Joey Meyer and the Blue Demons of DePaul. College basketball, it's the stuff weekends are made of on NBC.
5 minutes left, first half, 7-3 New England, and this kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Rich Carlos to kick to Reggie Dupard, who has the game's only touchdown, a 10-yard run. He hits it well. Dupard, halfway into his own end zone, will take the touchback. So when we return, it'll be New England beginning from its own 20.
Dip into the holiday spirit with something new. McDonald's Holiday Chicken McNuggets in festive 9 and 20-piece packs. Tasty chunks of chicken and 2 new sauces. Tangy cranberry with a twist of orange and sweet apple spiced with cinnamon. Better chime in before holiday McNuggets are gone.
Radio Shack's sale price Tandy 1000 TX brings the gift of a true high-speed business computer to your home affordably. PC compatible, easy to use, with 7 ready-to-run programs for the family. Keep a budget, write term papers, even create graphics or learn music. Save $250 on the high-speed Tandy 1000 TX, color monitor included, only $1249. Tandy computers, because there is no better gift value. Only at Radio Shack.
Never before has an antifreeze guaranteed your radiator. Use new Prestone Advanced Formula after Super Flush, and should our protection fail, we'll pay for your radiator repairs. Prestone, the antifreeze that guarantees your radiator.
Lady Stetson, you're free, playing in the big leagues. Country proud, with a fragrance all your own. Lady Stetson, an exciting blend of contrasts, like America itself. Lady Stetson.
Next Sunday, the NFL plays here when the Steelers battle the Chargers.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
One of the walking wounded, Charles Carroll Eason IV, Tony Eason. He and Steve Grogan both sidelined with shoulder injuries this year.
He said he hasn't been out of that strap that locked arm down even for a few minutes since they put it on. And the reason for that is he can't let that shoulder up. He said, I'd never slept on my back in my life. I had to learn how. 7 more days. He's counting them.
He's had to work left-handed.
Boy, I'll tell you, he doesn't like losing that right hand. I don't blame him there.
Leading 7-3. Ramsey starts the Patriots from the 20. It's Collins for 4. Greg Cragen, the nose tackle, and Roland Jones, the defensive end, on the hit. Wait, just the other scores of the day, and now with only 3 games remaining after this one, Merlin, it's not only for the playoff picture, it's for home field advantage and all the other facets. And you look at that AFC East with 5 teams within a game at the start today, and now the AFC Central, Cleveland, Houston, and Pittsburgh are all tied for first with 7-5 records after the results of today. And here, Denver with a win could have the best record in the AFC. But here comes Dupard. He's in the clear. 1 man to beat, Harton. And finally, Simon Fletcher, 73 with Harden, make the tackle at the 28-yard line. Fletcher, a defensive lineman linebacker, the fastest man on this Denver team, shows it.
Reggie Dupard may end up in your lap as he breaks to the outside. Good block right there by Paul Fairchild, 66. Out of Jim Ryan's hands, number 50, and down the sideline. But there is Fletcher. What great speed for the big man. And Harden buying time for that pursuit as he cut off the angle on Dupard and waited for it.
Dupard had 32 yards rushing all year. He had 49 on that run. 10 earlier for a touchdown. This time it's Collins, and New England goes to the ground game. The 24 of the Broncos with 3:17 on the clock running. End of the first half. Mecklenburg and Robbins on the tackle. Not only his longest run, but the longest by a Patriot this year. Dupard, who was a freshman at SMU when a couple of guys named Dickerson and James were part of that Pony backfield, Pony Express.
Not bad role models.
He then finished third all-time in the Southwest Conference in rushing behind Earl Campbell and Eric Dickerson. Stop and go by Tony Collins. What an effort to the 15 and a first down. He changed directions right now on a dime, and he gets 10 for it.
They're just chewing up that Denver run defense at the moment. Denver over the last 4 weeks has been giving up large chunks of real estate, made it look like the trap play. And Tony Collins with the option just popped it to the outside. They're able to outrun that inside-out pursuit of Denver to pick up the first down.
Folks down there that saw him play for East Carolina noting that that's the kind of thing he gives you. He can go full speed, make those quick cuts. Oh, Buffalo now is taking the lead against the Raiders. Upset-minded New England. Dupard wrestled by Castile inside the 10. 6 more yards for Dupard, working his way into a more regular basis as a New England runner.
You see Dupard breaking to the outside, and Mecklenburg caught inside as Jim Ryan was moments ago to the inside. And what they're trying to do is option those outside linebackers, trying to make the play look like it's coming right at them and then breaking quickly to the outside. Look at that rushing yardage by the Patriots. And of course, that's exactly what they would like to do, because that allows them to keep Elway and the Broncos offense off the field and control the clock.
And it's what they've done on this drive, Merlin. They started at the 20, all on runs. They're inside the Denver 10 at the 2-minute timeout.
Dodge salutes those who strive for victory with this edition of The Winners.
Baby, I got a heart as big as a wash tub. I don't even know the word quit.
Winners enjoy the game, but no one ever took more pleasure from it than Tommy McDonald. The last NFL player to perform without a face mask, Tommy always went full out against defenders who were bigger and faster, but never more competitive. Tommy McDonald had heart, and that made him a winner.
If you're looking for the only mid-size 4x4 anywhere, with the upfront power of new V6 fuel injection and the best truck warranty on or off the road, only one pickup carries that load. It's gotta be the mid-size Dodge Dakota.
It's gotta be a Dodge.
Buongiorno. Here I am in Roma, thanks to my new autofocus Nikon. Hey, do you guys do any heavy metal? No? Now, when you buy a Nikon, you can fly Pan Am to the Caribbean, Hawaii, even Europe, and get a companion ticket for half the price. That way, you can take along the little woman.
Nikon now take the world's greatest pictures in the world's greatest places. They are called Olympic hopefuls, but hope plays a small role here. For it will take a courage, a discipline, and a sheer will few of us will ever know. And if their effort is true, then they too will be known as Olympians.
Beautiful day in Denver. But the folks here at Mile High Stadium, partisan Bronco fans, not enjoying it quite as much as they had thought, as the Broncos came in more than a touchdown favorite. They trail 7-3, and it's New England at the 8-yard line. Second down and 4. 2 minutes left in the half. Tony Collins hit by Mecklenburg, close to a first down at the 5. And that's 6 straight running plays since this drive started for New England back at the 20-yard line.
Excellent backside pursuit by Carl Mecklenburg. He puts the stop on right there.
There he is, the Joe Palooka, the albino rhino from Minnesota, Carl Mecklenburg. Timeout.
That's him, isn't it?
You bet it is.
He's good.
I just love the way he parties. Do you know why Spud McKenzie has so much fun at parties? Because he's always in control. And he knows how to make a party last. It takes good sense to have a good time. And Spuds knows it's cool to live by one simple rule. Know when to say when.
A reminder from Anheuser-Busch.
There are facts about quality Pennzoil motor oil you should know. Facts. Pennzoil is the #1 choice of import car owners in America. Fact. Pennzoil is also the #1 choice among small engine car owners, import and American. For a longer lasting car engine, using the right quality motor oil is the smartest thing you can do. And that's why more import and American small engine car owners use Pennzoil. Pennzoil, the standard of protection since 1889.
Memo to Phil in DP. You seem to think IBM's 386 PCs are an automatic buy. I don't. Not when we have a choice. I suggest you look at AT&T's 6386.
Introducing the AT&T 6386 workgroup system.
The issue here isn't just computers and software, but it's keeping our options open, now and down the road.
All the excitement and raw enthusiasm of college basketball is back on NBC. Next Saturday, Digger Phelps leads the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame into the Windy City to battle Joey Meyer and the Blue Demons of DePaul. College basketball, it's the stuff weekends are made of on NBC.
3rd and 1 outside the 5. What do? Well, you look at statistics. Denver against the run, and today 8.2-yard average. So the guess would be that Barry has called for a running play. They need a yard. It's Tatupu, hit hard at the 4. It'll be close.
He's got it, Dick. His forward progress well inside the 4.5-yard line, and I think they got a relatively easy first down on the play. Not easy in terms of body weight, but his forward motion will carry him inside. As you look down the line, Denver a little late off the ball. Well, he didn't get as far as I thought he did. That may be because of the angle of that camera. We're looking back in from the New England side of it, and they are going to measure. But Tatupu
He has memories of a difficult game here.
He certainly does. A fumble.
Last year when Dennis Smith, with the game tied, picked up his fumble and raced over 60 yards for the game-winning touchdown. He gets the first down, first and goal inside the 5.
Was that 2 years ago?
Well, that was last year, the first game, and then, of course, they had the playoff game later, losing 22-17. Well, that's a positive note for Raymond Berry. They've only rushed for 100 yards in 5 games, and they've got well more than that in just the first half today. This has been a 7-play, 7-run drive that started at the 20-yard line, and the clock working against the Broncos, so New England in no hurry to even get out of the huddle.
Would like to see that clock run down, and of course want the 7 points here as Ramsey goes to the sideline. Wants to have a chat with Raymond Berry. And of course Steve Grogan, as we mentioned, who is calling those plays on the sideline, although with a timeout. There'll be a healthy conference over there.
Hail Tom Ramsey, long all the way since high school in the shadow of Elway. Maybe this is his afternoon.
The Achievers, sponsored by the U.S. Army. Precision teamwork makes all-pro pass rushers Rulon Jones and Carl Mecklenburg the Broncos' all-time quarterback sack unit.
He goes outside, I come behind him inside. We run stunts like that are very much a matter of timing and deception, and you have to work well as a team to pull it off. We complement each other's abilities, and that's what's made us successful in the past, and it's making us successful now.
Alpha team, aggressor tank spotted.
In a battle drill, you need horsepower, firepower, people power. That's teamwork.
Moving tank, back front, 2,000.
This team uses a computer, thermal sight, laser rangefinder.
Ah!
Yeah. We win, the whole tank wins. The whole team wins, not just one person.
Find your future in the Army.
Hey, guess what I'm getting Mom for Christmas? Oh, another Ferrari. Better than that. The top-rated Magnavox compact disc player. In fact, everyone on my list is getting a Magnavox. How about Sarah? Portable CD. Grandpa. 52-inch TV. Nancy. Lightweight camcorder. Oh, smart, Tom. Very smart. Yeah. Boy, are they going to be surprised? Not anymore. You just told everybody they're getting a Magnavox for Christmas. But they don't know when. They don't know when.
New England with an impressive first half, and this drive most impressive on the ground. First and goal inside the 5, leading 7-3 against John Elway's Broncos. And Tom Ramsey, also part of that 83 college draft, trying to get the Patriots more. Fake to Tutupu, wide open in the end zone, touchdown. Tony Collins, his 3rd reception for a touchdown this year. Well, that's the play they worked on during that timeout. And it's 13-3.
And what a perfect call from the New England sideline. You're having that much success running the football. You force immense pressure on the defensive line and linebackers. They have to think run. And, of course, at that moment, you fake the run and just drop it over their heads for the touchdown.
4 yards for the touchdown pass after the entire yardage was on the ground. Franklin adds the extra point, and the Patriots, with 1:13 left in the first half, enjoy a 14-3 lead. Time for the Broncos. They have 2 timeouts left.
If you thought you had to give up comfort to get a close shave, Norelco says, think again. Their revolutionary shaving system shaves skin close in a way that's incredibly comfortable. As the hair enters the chamber, the patented lift and cut system lifts each hair and holds it a split second before a blade cuts it. So it's possible to shave skin close without the blades even touching the skin. Norelco Rotitract, where close and comfortable come face to face.
For his enshrinement into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Joe Green.
For me, this was the ultimate honor. After 13 years in the National Football League as a player, and now as a defensive coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. To be here among all the legends of the game is like a dream come true. In my career, I never threw a pass or ran for a touchdown. Of course, I was a defensive player, but I got this ring for Super Bowl IX, this one for Super Bowl X, and this for Super Bowl XIII, and this when we won Super Bowl XIV. We were called the Steel Curtain. And in time, I know some of my teammates from those great Steeler victories will be joining me here. But for now, that is just me. Old number 75. The only player in the Pro Football Hall of Fame with 4 Super Bowl rings.
They're all here. The records, the films, the stories. At the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. Don't miss it. This message furnished by the National Football League.
First 7 plays of the drive on the ground. 49 yards, remember, on the Reggie Dupart run around the right side that really set up the drive. 3:46 the time, and the only pass was Ramsey to Collins, and the only completed pass by Ramsey in this second period. We should add, however, he's only thrown the ball twice in the second quarter.
You don't throw it unless you have to when things are going that well for you on the ground, and of course you just hammer. That's what they've done to this Denver defense here in this second quarter.
Stay with us at halftime for all the results, highlights. NFL Live, the kick down to Ken Bell at the 5. Bell sees a seam and squirts out to the 35. And Bell, who played at Boston College, of course, knows a lot of folks. Remember him. Part of the Eagles will be watching in New England and has a fine return of 30 yards.
Tony Collins right here be coming out of the backfield. The man they're going to beat on this play is Ricky Hundley. He's going to be frozen by the play action. Watch him now as he freezes looking inside and then loses his man momentarily. Just enough room for Collins to swing back under and get that football before he drops out of the end zone.
How subtle that is. I mean, you're not even allowed a little half step and boom, there's a touchdown behind you. Elway goes down at the 29-yard line, a loss of 6. That'll be a sack for New England.
Dick, I still think that Elway is nursing that knee a little bit. It looked to me like early in this ball game when he was twisted, he may have hurt that knee a little bit. He has not run as effectively in this game as we have seen him run over the past few weeks.
Clock was stopped momentarily on the quarterback sack, but now it's winding away. Second and long. Elway has not had a good first half, and perhaps his health is a part of that. To the sidelines, incomplete through the hands of Gene Lang.
We also should mention that Vance Johnson, his #1 receiver, of course, out of that lineup with a shoulder problem, has not returned from the locker room. They took him in for x-rays earlier. They took Natil off the field briefly for x-rays. He is back in the ballgame.
Elway in the last 3 games against 3 good defenses, the Bears, the Raiders, and the Chargers, throwing for over 300 yards in all 3 games, just under 1,000 total. Accounted for 8 touchdowns.
And running 100 yards in the process as well.
And they were key runs that kept drives alive. Intercepted by Rod McSwain. And McSwain is out of bounds at the Denver 30, the 29-yard line. And that not a good throw by Elway. McSwain's first interception of 87.
Now, it's hard to know from looking at Elway if he is nursing that leg, but let's go back. This is early in the ball game. Watch from the left-hand side of your picture, number 77, Sims, is going to be knocked into Elway's knees. Now, watch Elway's leg twist, the foot going back underneath him, the knee twisting. Elway came up limping. Now he's going against that leg as he throws that football, and that's just an awfully bad pass. I don't know whether there's a connection there or that's just a horrible pass, but not the kind of performance that Elway has given us over the last 3 weeks.
There wasn't an orange jersey in the picture. And Ramsey now tries to add to New England's lead, and it's Tony Collins, his all-purpose back, running and catching, and the Patriots will call time with 14 seconds left in the half.
This game with overtones of the first game played last year, where the New England Patriots dominated so thoroughly in the first half of the game, controlled the football more than 21 minutes, led 13-3, and then in the second half, different teams that looked like they changed uniforms. Denver Broncos dominated, controlling the football more than 21 minutes during the second half and winning the football game.
They led 13-3 last year, but it's 14-3, and New England in position to add further points with the ball at the 19-yard line. Just short of a first down, nearly 10 yards on that throw to Collins. Dan Reeves, he's already working on his halftime speech.
Well, he's not going to just be speaking to his offense. Their defense has let them down, and it's been the ability of this New England offense to run the football, to attack up the middle and going off to the outside, running extremely effectively outside of those linebackers to really establish themselves here in the second quarter.
So Barry on one sideline, he was a coach, an assistant coach with the Cowboys late in Reeves' career as a running back for Tom Landry, and Barry said yesterday, I knew he'd be a good coach. He knew what everyone did on every play and was so incredibly intense. Dan Reeves. 14 seconds. So Ramsey wants to be sure that he's not caught. And Irving Fryer almost beneath the pile of orange, able to pull that one in for a touchdown. Rick Dennison was right there. Steve Wilson.
Fryer, the kind of receiver that will reach into the middle of a crowd and pull one out and then drop one in the open field. Made a spectacular catch last week on the last drive that tied up the game against Philly. Watch him here underneath this pileup as he reaches back. Steve Wilson there to get a bump on him, but that ball just underthrown, and I blame Ramsey for underthrowing it. You don't want to get that one intercepted.
8 seconds remaining, and Tony Franklin on the field. Ramsey to hold a 36-yard attempt. Nothing wrong with that one. They were worried about Franklin's kicking slump, but he hits that one cleanly from 36, and that has to make him feel alive. He was really a concerned athlete as we talked to him yesterday. So the interception by McSwain turns into 3 more points for the Patriots, and with 4 seconds left in the half, New England has a 2-touchdown lead. They came in underdogs of a touchdown or more.
What a strange season this has been. So many teams that seem to be on a tear, seem to be getting things going, and this Denver team, this New England team have had up and down seasons. Dick, to me, it seems like that strike is still hanging around, the after effects of it. Although John Elway told me, he said, I really felt that last week we'd put all of that behind us. Obviously not. The intensity not there today for Reeves and his Bronco team, at least not in the first half of this ball game.
Dan Reeves, if we could put a microphone near him, I'm not sure we'd want to at this point, but he might say, I can't believe that we can only score 3 points at home in the first half.
New England doing what they had to do, which is to quiet down this very large capacity crowd who have not had much to cheer about in the first half.
Mayor Pena here in Denver yesterday said the fans were the Rocky Mountain Thunder. Well, there's not been much of a rumble from them as Franklin just skids it down, and then it's covered as clock stops with a second remaining. And Bell having trouble fielding that bounding ball. For John Elway, 2 touchdowns well within the grasp of his talent, but it has been uncharacteristic of his play. We started this telecast talking about a true star, and some would say maybe the most valuable player in the league at this point, but he's had a rough first 30 minutes.
Certainly has, and of course the real test of the class performer in the NFL is how well they respond to adversity. We're going to find out about Elway here in the second half.
Last play of the half. No chances taken. And Winder picks up about 5. Oh, listen to the crowd. You don't hear that sound very often here in Denver at home. They won 31, lost only 6 of their last 37, but it's Raymond Barry. He had his team ready. Underdogs, yes, but up by 14 at the half.
At Braun, we believe simple is better than complicated. Order is better than confusion. Quiet is better than loud. Only through superior design can one achieve superior performance. It is this philosophy that has helped make Braun the #1 selling foil shaver in the world. What's also helped is that no other shaver gives you a closer shave. Braun, now available in America.
Mitsubishi knows you want a truck to be tough. But we also know you want more for your money. Mitsubishi Mighty Max trucks give you more, up to 2.6 liters of power, a 5-speed stick, more standard features for less than Toyota, Nissan, or Mazda, even the lowest priced macro cab. The new Mitsubishi Mighty Max trucks. Mitsubishi, suddenly the obvious choice.
Here's something everyone worries about when flying, whether their carry-on luggage will fit.
Could you put this in the overhead compartment? How about under the seat?
So at Samsonite, we've designed carry-ons you truly can carry on, like our garment bag and suitcase in one, packed with features that make things easier to pack. At Samsonite, we'll never leave you holding the bag, proving once again that our strengths are legendary.
Sparked by the running of second-year back Reggie Dupard, New England Patriots surprisingly in front of Denver 17-3 at the half. NFL Live after these words from your local station.
A shocking twist may cause Matlock to defend the wrong person.
They have a witness.
If he grabs a bite, could he uncover the truth?
It'd be fun to watch me try.
A Matlock mystery. Then hunters on a special night. Good. To stop a victim from retaliation.
Satisfied?
And on Crime Story, Luke has been jilted. Will his passionate obsession turn fatal?
Tuesday.
These are the cars ranked #1 in America for quality. These are the #1 quality dealers who put these high-quality cars and trucks in your price range and provide a network of quality service and genuine parts. And best of all, for a limited time, these are the dealers with factory incentives that could save you thousands of dollars on certain models. These are Nissans, built for the human race and available only at your Colorado neighborhood Nissan dealers. One dog in a million. When you feel this way, there's one kind of dog food. A dog food with real chicken that provides optimum nutrition. A dog food as special as your dog. Purina ONE brand dog food. For that one dog, yours.
The new Center for Parade of Lights, December 11th and 12th. From KCNC-TV, Colorado's leading news source, this is the new Center 4 Halftime Edition.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Layton.
And I'm Suzanne McCarroll. Welcome to News Center 4's Halftime Report. Topping the news this afternoon, an avalanche at the Loveland ski area. It happened this morning outside ski area boundaries. A snowboarder set off a 350-foot slide that partially buried a skier down the mountain. Rescue workers were able to reach the skier. We'll have more details for you on News Center 4 right after the game. And also this afternoon, the Reagan-Gorbachev summit is only 24 hours away, with a flurry of activity in both Washington and Moscow today. While the State Department and Secret Service prepares for the major meeting, thousands of protesters marched from the White House to the U.S. Capitol building. They called their demonstration Freedom Sunday for Soviet Jews, a call for the Soviets to allow Jewish refuseniks to immigrate. And in Moscow this afternoon, a protest by at least 100 of those refuseniks. A shoving match broke out between that group, journalists covering the demonstration, and about 200 plainclothes KGB agents. Those agents showed up to control the public dissent.
And there was also a protest here in Denver on the steps of the Capitol. About 30 high school students showed up to rally against the summit. Many of the young people belong to Colorado's Young Republican group. They spoke out against communism, saying the Soviets cannot be trusted. Also today, 2 women joggers were kidnapped this morning as they ran along the Switzerland Trail near Boulder. The Sheriff's Department conducted a major search for the women, who were held at gunpoint by a suspected sex offender. One of the women was able to get away for help, and her friend also managed to escape. And the suspected kidnapper is now under arrest. We're going to have more on that story when the game ends. And right now, Steve Anderson joins us with a look at our weather.
Just gorgeous is about the best word to sum up the weather for today, and I think tomorrow too, as we're on a roll. A little bit of a change though coming into Colorado late in the day tomorrow. Let's take a look at our forecast though for Denver. Out there tonight, variable clouds will get down to about freezing tonight, and tomorrow increasing clouds but still very warm, 62 degrees, well above normal. Tomorrow night's low around 30, and when you come back and watch us after the game, we'll have a complete weather report for you then.
All right, lots to look forward to. Thanks.
Just ahead, Les is here with sports. It was a bad night for the Nuggets.
There's a
new idea on its way from Mountain Bell. It's a package of features for your business called the Worry-Free Phone System. And it links you up with your customers while controlling your costs. Plus, it's engineered to keep you up to speed by enhancing the same phone you're using at your business now. And if you ever see trouble ahead, we'll do whatever it takes to keep your system on the right track. To get your own worry-free phone system from Mountain Bell, just whistle.
Tired of fighting department store crowds for Christmas gifts? You looking for holiday savings that are more than an illusion? You know where to go. Checker Auto Parts, with great gift ideas from Checker's Holiday Gift Guide, like a Huffy Durasport bicycle, only $69.99, or the Huffy Savannah 10-speed Tour, just $99.99, and a Huffy 20-inch BMX is just $74.99. For great gifts, priced great, you know where to go. Checker Auto Parts.
It's a pathway that leads from here to tomorrow, from sea to shining sea. The great American road belongs to Buick. Whoa, it's a feeling of movement, of power and grace. The road up ahead in command. Yeah, the great American road belongs to Buick.
The Nutcracker through December 13th at the Denver Auditorium Theater.
Les Shapiro is here. What's happening to the Broncos?
Well, a number of things. Number one, they can't stop the New England running game. Already 160 yards, and it's one of the worst running offenses in the league. Also, when your best receiver is out, Vance Johnson, and your running backs fumble the ball away twice, it's hard to get anything going. And the Broncos are having a rough time with the New England Patriots right now. We're at halftime, and New England leads at 17-3. If the Broncos can come back and win this one, they'll be in first place in the AFC West, but they better get going soon. In basketball, the Nuggets fell out of first place last night. A 109-96 loss to Dallas. Mark Aguirre helped the Mavericks in the second quarter start a 20-0 point run. Doug Moe looked like he was giving up there. Here's Aguirre with a steal and a hoop. He had 35 points to lead Dallas over the Nuggets. We'll have all the NFL during our 5 o'clock newscast, and a Major League Baseball player busted for drugs.
Oh, thank you, Les.
All right.
That's it for our halftime report.
We'll see you back here for a full edition of News Center 4 right after the game.
Halftime, Mile High Stadium, Merlin Olsen. If we were sitting up in the third deck right now, I'd turn to you and say, what's wrong with the Broncos?
I think it's intensity, Dick. And I think the New England Patriots came in here knowing that if they lost this game, they're out of the race. It's over. The Broncos, on the other hand, I think just aren't a good enough football team to win when they don't have that kind of intensity. And they don't have it on the field right now. I think they might be getting a little pep talk from Dan Reeves in that locker room.
Speaking of intensity, we go to NFL Live in New York.
All right, here we go, as promised, with a run-through on the scores in the game you're watching. New England in front of Denver, 17-3. If the Broncos rally to win, then they have first place in the jumbled AFC West. New England trying to stay alive in the East. Buffalo at the Raiders. The Raiders just got a Wilson to Lofton touchdown pass early in the third quarter. They lead in this one 20-14. Jim Kelly has had a big day for Buffalo. He has thrown for a touchdown. 17th straight game he's done that. But watch Bo Jackson. He's the subject of this package of highlights, latching onto a 14-yard first-quarter touchdown pass from Mark Wilson, the 6th TD Jackson has scored in the last 3 games. Now watch him just bowl over Mark Kelso on this play, showing that sheer strength he's displayed a couple of times on national TV the past couple of weeks. But he gets his comeuppance a little bit here. Someone missed a block, and Cornelius Bennett, another great rookie, bursts through, and he pulls Bo down for a 5-yard loss on that play. However, the Raiders are in front, 20-14. Kelly, by the way, with the touchdown passes in 17 straight games. Now that his Buffalo teammates stopped Marino a week ago, the 17 straight is the longest existing streak in the National Football League. Tampa Bay playing at New Orleans. Vinny Testaverde started at quarterback for the Bucs. Hasn't been a happy experience. He has fumbled twice. The Saints recovered those, and it led to touchdowns. He's also been intercepted once. He's 9 of 19 so far. The Saints have the best overall defense in the National Football League. They lead 28-10 at halftime at the Superdome. Bobby Hebert has thrown for 2 touchdowns. If the Saints win, they clinch at least a wild card spot. Indianapolis is in first place in the AFC East. 3 Dean Biasucci field goals in the first half, and they hang on to upset Cleveland 9-7. Here's where the game turned in the fourth quarter. Ernest Biner fumbles, and it's recovered by Mike Pryor of the Colts, and that shut down the Browns' last opportunity to take the lead. Eric Dickerson had 98 yards, snapping his streak of 4 consecutive games over 100. San Francisco, with a big day from Joe Montana, wins at Green Bay 23-12. The 49ers clinch at least a wild card spot. Here's Montana going to his favorite target, Jerry Rice. Montana threw for 2 touchdowns today. He's got 29 for the year. 15 of them to Rice. Now, the NFL record for touchdown receptions in a season is Mark Clayton's 18 for the Dolphins in '84, so Rice most definitely has a crack at that. Take a look at Montana's numbers today. This performance included 17 consecutive completions at the start of the game. Couple that with the 5 straight at the end of last week's game against the Browns. It's an NFL record 22 consecutive completions for Joe Montana. The Giants won in overtime today against the Eagles, 23-20 on Raul Alegre's 28-yard field goal. Sims and Cunningham each threw 2 touchdown passes. Pittsburgh stays tied for the top spot in the Central Division of the AFC. They win over Seattle. The score there was 13-9. That was at Three Rivers Stadium. The Cardinals were beaten by the Redskins today, 34-17. George Rogers rushed for 134 yards for Washington. They clinched the title outright in the NFC East. Houston bounces back from 2 straight losses, and they demolished San Diego today. The game wasn't as close even as the 15-point difference. 33-18 is the final score. Here's Bostic on a safety blitz. He knocks the ball away from Fouts in the first quarter into the arms of Robert Lyles. 55-yard touchdown. Houston was in command the entire way. They win 33-18. And the Browns, Steelers, and Oilers tied for first AFC Central. Atlanta comes up with the upset and pushes Dallas to the brink of elimination. 21-10, the final score today in Big D. Cincinnati finally wins a home game. They were 0-6 at Riverfront. They win an OT today on Jim Breacher's 32-yard field goal, 30-27 over Kansas City. After flirting with blowing yet another lead, they were in front 17-3 at one point in this game. Nick Lowry's field goal at the end of regulation tied it for Kansas City, but Breach pulled it out of the fire for Cincinnati, so they avoid embarrassment this week. And the Rams win at Detroit 37-16. After a horrendous start, the Rams have bounced back with 4 consecutive victories. Charles White went over 100 yards for the game and over 1,000 yards for the season. He leads the NFL in rushing. And we'll be back with more after these messages from your local stations.
Tonight on Our House, a football star charms the family.
What a body.
But he's got a deadly secret.
Stay away from my grandchildren.
Then on Family Ties, can Alex keep a secret?
Nobody tells me anything.
There's a good reason why.
I'm telling.
And on My Two Dads, the judge wants no secrets.
I'm gonna make you sing. Tonight.
Taco Bell would like to propose a traditional holiday feast. A delicious main course, filled with your favorite stuffing. Next, a special side dish. For your sweet tooth, a festive holiday treat, all topped off by a bit of the bubbly. And what better way to finish an old-fashioned Christmas meal than with a rousing chorus of your favorite holiday tune?
Celebrate the holidays this Sunday with 49-cent regular tacos only at participating.
Olson, one of the places where you can find that quality or lack thereof is on the line of scrimmage.
Well, I think you see it exerting itself there very quickly because the big men down in the trenches are battling on every down, and if you don't get that extra effort, if you don't have that intense concentration on the line of scrimmage, you begin to lose the battles on the line of scrimmage. Denver right now, especially in the second quarter, losing the battle on the line of scrimmage. They're getting beaten by the running game. They are not getting pressure on the passing game defensively. And at the same time, their offense is not giving Elway the kind of protection that he needs to perform.
And here's a team, the New England Patriots, who have had their troubles in running the football. But Reggie Dupart scores from 10 yards. He runs off a 49-yard effort. And the Patriots over 150 yards in the half rushing.
Those numbers very depressing, I'm sure. But in the locker room, Dan Reeves doing his best to get things going.
And this second half kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Reggie Dupart at the other end as Carlos roots it long and to the middle of the end zone where Dupart will take the touchback.
Dick, I've listened to Dan Reeves several times say, if you have to depend on me to give you a pep talk, I'm not the coach you want. But looking at his face as he left the field at halftime, I'm sure there was an emotional confrontation in that Bronco locker room. I expect to see a more emotional Bronco team in this second half.
You saw Tom Ramsey come on the field with the Patriots as they begin at the 20. Yards rushing, 156 New England, only 66 Denver. And in passing, along with those turnovers, and Denver's coach Reeves will say that's the one statistic he watches most closely. And now the crowd trying to help out the defense as we open the half. Fumble by Fryer, and he doesn't have it. It's picked up by the Broncos, Jim Ryan. Well, there it is, very first play of the second half. A fumble, and Ryan has the Denver fans on their feet. Fryer made a costly mistake. The ball was there. Instead of falling on it, he tried to pick it up on the bounce.
Ramsey had trouble getting the signals called. It's the same kind of play that we've seen Elway run. They're trying to get the speed of Fryer outside. But again, you have to remember, Ramsey has that cast on the left hand, and perhaps that played a role in that fumble. Ryan alertly picking up that football. Chance to get points here quickly for Denver.
From the 15-yard line with Natil, who was shaken up in the first half. Mr. Rexon, and it's Elway on the roll. And steps out of bounds at the line of scrimmage of, I believe, the 15. Going back to the Fryer fumble, it was there, and he was trying to reach for it instead of falling on it. And Ryan was quicker to the pumpkin.
Irving Fryer, one of those players who has a tendency to lose concentration at strange times during the game, and yet so with such great talent, the kind of guy you've got to have on the field.
A gain of a yard for Elway, 2nd and 9.
Right now, the challenge for the New England defense, take away this scoring opportunity, or at least hold Denver to a field goal.
Vance Johnson, who injured his shoulder first quarter, has not returned. It's Jackson right, Natil left. Tony Bodie, who has not played much, in the backfield with Elway. It's to Bodie. To the 1-yard line, fumbles the ball. New England has recovered. No, the ball has been ruled down at the 1. The fumble caused by the collision with the ground.
It looked to be a good call as Bodie bounced and the ball came loose. As you'll see it from ground level, they just swing Bodie out of the backfield. I think they tended to ignore him. They have not seen much of him at all. And you're absolutely right, Dick. He's flat on his back as that ball comes loose. No question about that one.
Lang and Winder now, 1st and goal from the 1. Does not get in. A stiff defensive charge by the Patriots to deny Gene Lang, who comes out hurting. And Bodie, who was just activated by the Broncos, played in the USFL. Bodie, number 24 from Montana State, is in.
Watch Clarence K, number 88. He's going to start over here just outside your picture and come in motion and trap as an H-back. He's the guy that's trying to spring the hole open for Lang there, but Toby Williams went right underneath that block and caused the stop there, stacked things up.
This time it is Bodie, who struggles in for a touchdown, his first as a Bronco. Bodie, who came into the game without a catch and without a run, and he's going to take that football back with him. The fumble officially has been charged against Ramsey, not Fryer.
Well, I think again on the handoff, Ramsey with that finger in a cast may have been awkward in presenting that ball to Irving Fryer.
So the 15-yard gift for Denver on the fumble to open the second half. Carlos adds the extra point. Boy, that'll pick up the spirits in a hurry from 17-3, and less than 2 minutes later, 17-10.
There are those who fervently believe that true perfection is found in the details.
Thunder now as as Rich Carlos kicks off. Reggie Dupard, 17-10, and Carlos again with an unreturnable kick. It'll be the Patriots at the 20. Meanwhile, Gene Lang helped to the Denver dressing room for x-rays. The left thumb injured when he was hit on that first and goal shot from the 1-yard line. And the Broncos are so thin at that position.
Just cannot afford. We saw the list earlier. Wilhite was on that list. Lang hitting in. There's the scoring drive. 4 plays. A very quick turnover and a very quick emotional change in this stadium and on the field.
So now Tom Ramsey has to work against the noise. Collins for a yard. Greg Cragen plugged the hole. Jim Ryan was also in on the play, number 50 from William and Mary.
Joe Collier has always favored those quick defensive linemen and linebackers. As you look at the home record of these Broncos, that is impressive. Right now, you're going to see them flying around in there.
Second and a long 9. Dupard hit by Robbins. A flag is down. Randy Robbins, the safety, right up on the line of scrimmage. Andre Townsend there as well.
Well, I got to tell you, if you're Raymond Berry, you've got to be thinking, I've been here before. Last year, they led at the end of the first half. It dominated in that early game out here, 13-.
Defense, nose guard, lined up in the neutral zone. 5
Well, there's
yards.
a break that goes to the Patriots. Craig in the nose guard, lined up in the neutral zone.
Watch this crowd respond. Boy, they are really. The other problem you have here, this crowd is so intense and so on top of you, it tends to magnify your mistakes.
Especially at the end of the field from which the Patriots are working, the closed end. Dupard, shy of the first down. It'll be third and about 1.5 yards. Townsend and Cragen on another stop. Now, this is the best day as a Patriot for Reggie Dupard.
New England's strategy apparent as they feel that they have got to establish themselves physically here in the second half. You look at what Dupard has been able to do in this ball game today and compare that to his career until today. He's had more than a career today. Big third down.
And Collins doesn't make it.
The kind of intensity and emotion that this Bronco team has exhibited, certainly in the last 3 weeks. It was absent here in the first half. It's back.
4 plays in the second half for New England. They've gained 9 yards and fumbled it away. And now it's Camarillo to punt. K.C. Clark at the 30 of Denver. Oh, this is his best punt of the day. Driving Clark all the way back to his 9. And down at the 21-yard line. Ed Williams with a tackle. A 62-yard kick by Camarillo. Timeout in Denver. 10:38 remaining third quarter. Average is 40, so he had to give a lot of room for that 62-yard kick.
Watch him look to the sideline here as he takes this kick. He knows he's not supposed to touch the ball inside the 10, and he said, I wonder if I'm inside the 10. That's how far he backed up.
Well, he'd be forgiven for that. From the 21, Elway comes out throwing, trailing by a touchdown. Mobley, first down at the 49. The 265-pound tight end gets 28 yards.
Big number 89, Orson Mobley. You want sure hands and a big target, and there he is, all 260-some-odd pounds of him. Elway puts it up high for him. Mobley puts it away and then puts a shoulder into the defense.
Out to the Denver 49-yard line. New England led 17-3 at the half. We've played just 5 minutes of the second half. Broncos have a touchdown back and looking to tie. Underneath, incomplete to the other tight end, Clarence Kay. Jim Bowman on the coverage. Two other games late today. And of course, later tonight, it'll be Chicago and Minnesota. The Raiders now have opened a 13-point lead against Buffalo. That'll please the fans in New York and Miami. They play tomorrow night. And New Orleans enjoying its greatest season ever.
Dick, the Broncos are down to dos amigos, and that was one of the amigos that dropped that last one. Jackson, who has been a relatively sure-handed receiver, put that one on the ground.
Elway looking for Mobley again, and no one there. He had Natil in the area, but closest to the ball was Fred Marion.
Elway simply not in sync with his receivers, and that's something he has done so well over the last 3 weeks. Anticipating their movements in the secondary. Look at him there. He's saying, wait a minute, Ricky, go outside. Don't break inside on me. That was Natil, number 84. And there's a man who's trying to figure out exactly what he needs to do to stop Elway. Rod Rust, defensive coordinator, New England Patriots.
He's got his coach on the field, Steve Nelson. Blitz, full blitz. And Elway dumps it off, and there's no one there down the center of the field as Lepad had cut off Natil, the only man who had even a chance.
Garon Veras back in the game. Well, Raymond Claiborne yesterday said this: if you can control and confuse Elway, you can beat Denver. Well, you're right. And in that first half, they were able to do that. But Raymond, the difficulty is doing that for a whole game. In a hinged cast, left knee, missed his first game ever last week.
That's going back to junior high school.
That's like 18 and a half years of football. His first game ever he missed last week.
10 men on the line of scrimmage. Moran, the left-footed kicker, skids one toward Irving Fryer at the 14. And down at the 22-yard line. Timeout, 9 minutes, 32 seconds left, third quarter. The Patriots lead by 7. Fryer to his feet on that return of the punt. Let's see what happened.
Fryer takes a lot of bodies, as you see him swarmed under, and he's being helped off. I'll tell you, the trainers may be going for MVP awards the way things are going here today, Dick.
Well, the Broncos are short on running backs, and they lose Lang, at least for the moment. And Stanley Morgan did not start for the
hamstring, sore hamstring. Now Fryer going to the sideline.
It's a grass field, though.
Well,
that's here we playing the artificial.
You don't expect to see that many injuries on the grass field. This is New England's first game of the year on a grass turf, Dick.
And they're at the noisy end for Tom Ramsey as he starts from the 22. New England leads 17-10. Boy, quickness of foot as Tony Collins shoots forward for 6.
Attacking over on Rulon Jones's side of the field as they go after him. And they had run that play outside. That's an option play by Dupard with the option to go inside or outside. They broke it outside a lot of times in the first half. This time they went inside for a nice game.
Trevor Maddich over the ball. He was the #1 pick of the Patriots 2 years ago. They were disappointed in him, but he's doing some fine blocking today. Ramsey intercepted by Mecklenburg. 30, 20, and down at the 19, and Denver's within 19 of a tie. Mecklenburg's second interception of the season and 2 turnovers put the Broncos right on the doorstep of a tie.
You want to put the pressure on a quarterback. Watch the stunt. Rulon Jones going inside. Reagan coming outside, and Mecklenburg right here dropping back for the interception. Look at the pressure as it's exposed here, and there's the toss. Mecklenburg bats that ball up in the air, picks it up, and heads downfield.
Over the middle, incomplete. Natil took his eye off the ball. The pass was there.
You saw Jackson drop an easy catch moments ago. Natil the same here. Not a good day for the wide receivers of the Broncos. We mention again that Vance Johnson has not returned to the field. Here is Mecklenburg. Watch him as he quickly reacts and then gets up in the air. Nice interception, but that ball poorly thrown by Ramsey.
Ken Bell, used sparingly, joins Winder in the backfield. That's Bell moving way out as a flanker. 2nd and 10 from the 19. Mateo out of bounds with the catch. First down at the 9. Well, it may not be a first down. It's going to be close.
I think it may be measured, but I like Elway. Natil drops an easy pass. Elway comes right back to him. Natil makes the difficult catch, and they're going to have to measure it.
Elway way under the 50% mark and without a touchdown pass today.
Elway says it's going to be 6 inches short as he looks across the field. We'll see how good his long-distance calculations are. And, of course, if it is short, brings up that second and very short, maybe a throwaway down. Well, I'll tell you, he wasn't far off, was he?
Yeah, those guys at Stanford, you know, they can measure.
Eyes like an engineer.
For Elway and Dan Reeves, it gives them a down with which to play.
Although it's a third down. I thought it would be a second. It is a third down.
So 3rd and inches. And they'll bring in the extra beef on this situation. Tony Bodie, 24 for the injured Lang, and Sammy Winder, 23 behind Elway.
Elway not afraid to throw in a situation like this. No.
Sneaks in on himself. And he appeared to have gotten plenty. To the 8-yard line, 1st and goal, Denver.
Well, the good news is you got the first down. The bad news is you're just barely inside the 9-yard line, and these are the toughest yards in football. Elway knows that. I'll tell you, he is tough down here because he is so mobile.
2 big turnovers on the very first play of the second half. The fumble on the exchange between Ramsey and Fryer, and Denver gets the ball at the 15, scores 4 plays later, and now the interception by Mecklenburg, and return to the 19 of New England. Winder cut down at the 7. Lawrence McGrew and Steve Nelson. McGrew, a couple of Rose Bowl appearances. Ramsey, of course, he was with Southern California. Ramsey as a UCLA Bruin, and Ramsey yesterday looking around this stadium empty and saying, boy, at the Rose Bowl at the very end, one of the things I did, I looked around and said, I'll never experience anything quite like this again. I'm going to enjoy it. Of course, we have that coming up here on NBC as part of our January 1st triple header. And Elway throws it up for grabs, but actually throws it wide of the sidelines, incomplete. So do you take the play, 3rd and goal from the 7 or 8, or do you take the 5-yard penalty and give Elway an extra down?
Not a good choice either way. I would suspect they would move them back.
Offense, number 88. Illegal motion, offside, decline.
All right.
I saw Fred Silva before the game. He was speaking very well. And then Larry Cirillo, our producer, went in to talk to him. And ever since then, Silva hasn't been in. They must have been in a shouting match.
You think they yelled at each other? I don't think they do that.
Well, you know those. Well, we better not get into that. Cirillo, bring that out of you, though. Andy Rosenberg, our director, Larry Cirillo, producing here from Denver. Elway trying to produce from the shotgun on 3rd and goal. Over the middle, wide open, touchdown, Massey. Rick Massey from Kentucky grew up in the thoroughbred country near Lexington in Paris, Kentucky. Played in the Canadian League, and a big score to make it 17-16. And Elway again on 3rd down delivers.
John Elway working to Massey. Number 3 receiver getting in there because of Vance Johnson's injury, making the most of his opportunity.
Bad snap, but Carlos ties it. And in less than 8 minutes of this second half, the New England 17-3 advantage has melted it away, and we start anew at Mile High. First half, and well bandaged. He had a consecutive touchdown string of 6 games in a row. Rick Massey is playing because Vance Johnson is hurt, and Massey comes up with a touchdown tying reception at 17-all. Once again, Carlos denies a return.
One of the things that makes Elway so tough is he recognizes the blitz quickly. They've got somebody coming wide open. Ed Williams, nobody on him. Elway doesn't waste any time. Sees the single coverage on Massey. Gibson cleanly beaten on the play, and Massey has the touchdown.
Massey, who was 8th or 9th receiver when we saw them in London in the preseason, and is
never expected to be here. And of course, when you make your selection on the receivers, you can say, who do we double? You try and take the number 1 and 2 guy. Massey's the 3rd guy. He was the guy open.
Patriots have had the ball 3 times for only 6 plays in the second half, and a drop there. Tony Collins unable to hang on. It's 17-all in Denver. Let's go to NFL Live and Bob Costas.
All right, Dick, here's Ronnie Harmon's second touchdown of the day for Buffalo off the pitch from Kelly. He goes 8 yards, and the Bills are within 6 at 27-21 early in the 4th quarter. And, Dick, congratulations on another Sportscaster of the Year award this past week.
Thank you, Bob. New England and Denver tied at 17, and once again, Ramsey having to work against the noise in the closed end of the stadium. He's got a man open, and it is Cedric Jones who cuts free to the 46-yard line. Jeremiah Castile with a tackle, and a big play for Tom Ramsey of 26 yards.
Considering the little amount of experience that Ramsey has had in the NFL, you've got to like the way he just stays in there. Threw that pass very cleanly. Cedric Jones had a big week last week against Philadelphia. Of course, with Stanley Jones off the field, with Irving Fryer off the field, he too has become the number 1 receiver.
Reggie Dupart picking his way into Denver territory to the 47 before Cragen can stop him after a 6-yard gain.
Back on Friday, November 13th, the Black Cat wandered into the Denver practice facility, and they thought that might be a bad omen, but it led to 3 winning ball games. I think at halftime they might have been ready to throw the cat back out on the street, but now they may keep him. In fact, they're having a Name That Cat contest here in Denver.
Second down and 4. 3rd quarter, tied at 17. Collins. First down, out of bounds at the 39-yard line, and there's the measure of the mature running back. Not full speed all the way, starting out about 3 quarters, waiting for the blocking to develop.
The hesitation, watch it, just a little hesitation, and then opening up as the blocks are made. I'll tell you, the ability of the back to set up his blockers is so important, Dick. The good backs, the smart backs have that.
Relying too much on the defense. The offense keeps coming up short. We've got to do something about it. Well, Tony Collins running and receiving, and Reggie Dupart, number 21, has certainly given Raymond Berry's offense new life. And there's a problem here. Dupart didn't seem to know what the play was. Ramsey hit from behind and down at the 36. Jim Ryan caught him.
Perfect opportunity for a sack. There was confusion on the play. Ramsey still shaking his head. Perhaps an audible call, perhaps a play call that was called incorrectly, but definitely confusion. Now there's a play coming in from Flutie. Rogan making the calls. You see his ready sheet in the left hand.
Flutie yesterday here, they had the Heisman presentation on the scoreboard during their practice, and of course he was reflecting on his memories of that day as the Heisman winner.
Most of those yards in the second quarter, but they've started the drive again here.
Dupart, what a hole. And he's close to the 30, shy of a first down by about 1.5 yards. Townsend and Castile.
right up front. Let's give that Patriot offensive line some credit. The two rookie tackles, Villa and Armstrong. Trevor Matich in there at center, getting a chance to play. Not had a lot of playing time in there. And, of course, Paul Fairchild is in there for Sean Farrell. Ron Wooten. That's about the only name you recognize from last year's offensive line. A remake offensive.
I'm not in there. Here you are. What's this? This is for
It's more than a
roast. Screw him. Come on. Let's say that then.
Ramsey was Walt Boyer. Onto the field, 3 wide receivers. So on 4th and 2, at least for the moment, it appears Raymond Berry is going to forsake the field goal and try for the first down.
Earlier in the ballgame, we saw 4 wide receivers on the field and a running play call. Let's see what Berry has up his sleeve here, although it's probably Grogan having it up his sleeve since he is calling the plays.
It would have been a 48-yard field goal attempt to break the tie. Instead, out of the backfield, Collins, first down, and but for the sidelines, no one was left for Collins to beat, and Grogan makes the right call, and Collins is there for the catch. 5 yards on the play.
It's 31. Mike Harden, you saw him at the bottom of your screen trying to get to the outside to cover Collins. Just gets a piece of him, and Collins trying to tightrope it. Was not able to hold it in bounds, but they pick up the first down on the 25, just outside the 25-yard line. The drive continues.
Third catch for Collins to go with more than his 60 yards rushing today as Berry and Grogan, his veteran quarterback, share offensive notes. Dupard. Flag down as Dupard runs out of bounds at the 20-yard line, and the flag is thrown right in the middle of the offensive line.
Holding call against New England that will march them back. You see the frustration, and of course costly at this point. They have not stopped themselves too often on these running drives today.
Number 64, holding.
Trevor Matich, who played at BYU. His dad was part of that great University of San Francisco football team back after the war with Ollie Matson, Gino Marchetti. His father, Tony Matich, on that club and played in the NFL.
Like Trevor Matich, I'm sure I can remember being on the field making a bad play and saying, boy, I hope the cameraman had the film changed or screwed up. You almost want that microphone to go dead when you've made a mistake like that.
So it's 1st and 20 from the 35. 3:43 left in the third quarter. Dupard. Nothing there, maybe a yard. Tried to ad-lib his way outside, but Cragen and Ryan shut him off. Cragen's had a good game defensively on the nose. There he is from Utah State.
You bet. And, the one thing about Cragen you got to love, he's going to go 100% on every play. One of the difficulties that Denver has had defensively, they do not have the number of experienced players they've had in the past. They've always rotated as many as 20 people in and out. They have not been able to keep fresh bodies on the field as much as they have in the past during this season.
Starring to the right. Pryor's back in the game. He's flanked right. Ramsey trying to run it. And Steve Wilson gets to him first at about the 22-yard line, which will bring up 3rd down and around 6. But certainly now within field goal range.
Some good blocking inside as the Patriots were able to gather all those defenders into one place and knock them down. Good block there on the outside on Brooks. Michael Brooks, number 56, to spring Ramsey for that last 2 or 3 yards. Dupard also in there with a fine block.
A dozen for number 12 Ramsey on the run. Over 200 yards rushing for the Patriots today, and we still have 2 minutes plus remaining in the third quarter. That's the graphic we showed you earlier in the first half. Positive omen for Patriot fans.
Blitz.
That one thrown away. Ramsey had no chance. And now you watch closely, but 2 quarterbacks hurt, and now Ramsey slow getting up.
He took a real shot from number 77, Carl Mecklenburg, who'll be coming from the outside, getting around Danny Villa. Villa not able to contain the speed. Oh, helmet to helmet as Mecklenburg just ran right through Ramsey. Ramsey looked a little woozy as we got a peek at his eyeballs there.
Barefooted Tony Franklin, who was the top kicker in the NFL last year, but only 12 for 23 this season prior to today. Hit earlier from 36. This one will be 39.
Remember, Ramsey holding with a cast on that left hand.
It is perfect, but a flag is down. And Castile may have run into the holder or the kicker, Franklin.
Franklin on the ground, not moving. Kicker very vulnerable as he finishes his kick. Let's look and see what happened. Now, this looked like a little bit of a difficult snap. High, good timing. Foot to the stomach. Right there, and they're going to call Castile.
The field goal is declined. They'll take roughing the kicker half the distance to the goal line. First down.
Now, there are those coaches who believe you never take points off the board. Raymond Berry has just taken 3 points off the board and opted to go for 7. Now, one of the reasons he may have done that is it looks like Franklin may have hurt his knee. I thought it was just a kick to the stomach, but they're looking at his left leg, perhaps that kicking knee. You see them twerking the knee a little bit. Let's watch the play one more time.
Well, it was an awkward play, and at first it didn't appear that he was hit that hard, but you know, that kicker is so unprotected. Oh, there it is. Yes, he rolled right over that ankle. And then the delayed reaction and pain by Franklin, and Ramsey took a tumble as well. So Castile charging through. And while it appeared that the ankle took the blow, it is the knee that they're working upon, and Franklin has had some problems in that area.
Castile trying his best, I think, to get away from Franklin. Of course, not wanting to pick up the penalty, but nevertheless, we're going to have a 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line.
First down at the 11, tied at 17. Dupard for a couple, right into the arms of 75 Jones and 98 Hundley. Mecklenburg was in on the tackle as well.
Hundley coming out of the stack with the football, but didn't make much difference. They'll mark it just inside of the 10-yard line, a little over a yard, yard and a half, 2 yards. Second, about 9.
See the head man of the Patriots, Raymond Berry. I don't see the wrapping on his thumb that he was wearing yesterday. Testimony to all the balls that he caught in his great Hall of Fame career. His thumb wore out. Here comes Fryer on a reverse. Net fooling, and then back to Ramsey, and Ramsey throws it through the uprights.
Jim Ryan, smart linebacking play. He's the contained man. He was there so quickly on the outside that the play did not have an opportunity to develop. Fryer coming in motion. It's a flea flicker. They want to throw him the ball and have him toss it back. There is that part of the play. But Ramsey, realizing there's no time for the play to set up, simply threw it out of the end zone. And there's a man who has been, his coaching colleagues say he has more trick plays than any other coach in the league, getting some of his own medicine back on the other side, but it didn't work against the Denver defense.
3rd and long, and a play away from a field goal situation. How healthy is Franklin? Will it matter? Ramsey lofting for Williams. No good. Covered by Robbins.
Randy Robbins covering tightly, but a beautifully thrown pass with an opportunity to catch on the outside. And here comes Tony Franklin. Well, this is what they pay you for. And I'll tell you, I have great respect for Franklin. Didn't blame anybody last week. There were holding problems on a field goal that could have won for him at the end of the game. He was short on a field goal in overtime that could have won. He said, I'll take the responsibility. And here he is again, taking the responsibility.
Remember, his 39-yard field goal when he was hurt was good. They took the penalty. Now he must hit from 27. And he does. New England regains the lead, 20-17. On a gimpy right leg of Tony Franklin with 1:02 left in the quarter. apparently Franklin may not kick off. They may use Camarillo for that responsibility. Boy, it's tough enough, isn't it, Merlin? You've already had a long year, and now you've got to kick knowing there's something else planted in your mind. You're not healthy.
Got to admire him. Boy, he couldn't have kicked it any square down the center. Franklin right underneath that one, puts it through the uprights.
Boy, when is the last time that you've seen a holder with a broken finger trying to set it up for a kicker that just went off the field with an injured knee? And it all works.
You saw the injury lists that continue to mount for these two teams, and for those of you who wonder why NFL players earn the kind of dollars they do, I think I've got to tell you that those injuries over a period of time come back and haunt you. It's like talking about Raymond Berry's thumb. He said, all of those passes I caught, he said, my body finally came and said it's time to pay it back. The ligaments just wore out on that thumb. He's going to have it operated on after the season.
Against its right thumb and tail. Said that I caught with the right hand, and so that thumb was always in the middle, and it took the point of the ball.
Took the point of the ball. I think he may squib this. Let's see if he does. No, by golly, he's going all the way.
It's short. Bell at the 10. Bell down at the 26. Holmes, 41, first to make the hit. 16-yard return.
Let's watch the short run-up. It's the same kind of approach Tony's been using for quite a while. You see him have to pop down on that right knee. Well, it looks like he's going to be all right. He's going to have a sore knee on the way home tonight. I've got to tell you that, and tomorrow. Rod O'Neill, the trainer, checking to see if he's all right. He's shaking his head. I'm okay. I'll make it.
Into the final minute of the third quarter. A quarter that has shown the Broncos a couple of touchdowns off mistakes by the Patriots. And Elway gunning the ball. Complete to Mark Jackson at the 45.
The smart quarterback knows where the defenders are, throws the ball where it can be caught and not intercepted. Defenders behind the receiver. The ball is down low. That's where Jackson is to catch it.
He set a Denver rookie record last year when his 38 catches accumulated 738 yards. Picks up 19 on that play. One of the three amigos that they're publicizing here in Denver. The three little wide receivers, Natil Jackson and Johnson. Winder. And what apparently will be the final play of the third quarter. Well, they may be the three amigos, but there is El Papa Grande, John Elway. End of 3. The score at Mile High Stadium. The Patriots 20, the Broncos 17. Injury lucky when you're looking for playoffs. You have to keep units together, and that offensive unit works as a team. Farrell, the only man of the 5 for the Patriots to start every game, and then he's out today with a shoulder that he's been protecting for 4 weeks. He's been hurt.
One of the players who stayed and played all the way through the strike, but out today. You see him hanging on to that right hand. He's got a shoulder problem today, right shoulder.
We open the fourth quarter here at Mile High Stadium. New England, the underdog, leading 2017. A 2nd and 7 for Elway from his own 48. Fakes to Winder. Throws long, wide open is Natil to the 4-yard line.
Number 31, Fred Marion, trying to get over to cover Natil, who had burst down that sideline. Play action, holds the pressure inside, and Elway unloads. Nobody even close. Natil has to wait for the football, but obviously a mix-up in that secondary for the Patriots. And Natil, you see that thumb bandage. He hurt that thumb in the first half. He's coming off, dragging that hand. Well, I'll tell you, these Broncos, beat up as they are, down and threatening with a 1st and goal at the 4-yard line.
You can see basically just used the left hand a bit to guide the ball in, and then clutched it one-handed with a healthy right hand. 1st and goal. Tony Bodie, who played in the USFL a couple of years, LA Express, In fact, was a teammate of Tom Ramsey, the quarterback of the Patriots.
Again, you're going to have a chance to see a play we showed you a little while ago. You're going to see a man in motion. Rick Kay, you're going to see the tight end, Clarence Kay, coming inside the block right there. He's going to try and trap on Toby Williams. Actually, they ended up trapping on the tackle. Williams was locked up inside. They got a good pull and got down inside of the 2-yard line. Ooh, inside out, 52, Johnny Rembert. Big play for New England. The pursuit of the linebackers in a 3-4 defense, so critical. You try and shut off the blocking. You try and bring people outside. There is the linebacker, 52, Rembert. A very sure stop.
Loss of about a half yard on the play. 3rd and goal. From the 2.5, the Raiders lead by 6, and New Orleans apparently is going to beat Tampa Bay in the 4th. Here we're just into the 4th quarter. Denver looking for the lead, trailing 2017. Timeout.
3 wide receivers to the left.
New England spends the timeout with 12:45 left. When we return, a critical 3rd and goal for Denver. The start at 2 o'clock, 60 degrees, still pleasant. And for the Denver Broncos, trailing by 3 here in the 4th quarter, Elway has a 3rd and goal from the 2.5. No flag. Yes, the flag comes. Doesn't matter. Touchdown anyway. Mark Jackson. The Patriots had jumped offside. Elway goes through the play and nails Jackson for the score.
Elway, knowing he had a free down, so heady as he simply called a snap, had the offsides, and then fired it in for the touchdown.
Defense, illegal use of the hand. Offside, defense, both decline, touchdown.
And it's worthy of note that Elway, while he's not had the great games of the past 3, the 2 touchdowns, the last 2 touchdown passes have been on 3rd down, and he converts those 3rd down plays time and time again. Try for point by Carlos. Gary Kubiak to spot it. And he gets it through.
Jackson had come in motion from the outside, just dives up inside to try and cross across the middle, and Elway throws a bullet.
All country, Terre Haute, Indiana. He has a touchdown reception to give the Broncos the lead at 24-20. An impressive drive, and the key play was that 48-yard toss from Elway to Natil. Carlos driving the ball deep again. Dupard once again will have to take the 20-yard line on the touchback. Let's go back to the score.
2 things to watch here. Garen Veras, the man, is going to go offside, but watch Elway's hands. The quarterback is not allowed to do anything to pull the defensive guys offside. Watch his hands. Right there, swinging them together. That started Veras across. Veras is the man that's offsides. Now, look right here at the separation that Jackson is able to get coming across the middle, working on Ed Williams, the linebacker. A wide receiver mismatch against the linebacker, set up by Shanahan and Reeves. They take advantage of it for the touchdown.
Tom Ramsey now is at the open end of the stadium. Lofts one complete. Cedric Jones out of bounds at the 41, a 21-yard pickup. Jones, who still says, I want to be a U.S. Senator to represent North Carolina. He's got 3 catches for 61 yards. One of the great coaches of all time, and certainly a man who knew the passing game, Sid Gilman says of Elway, he can beat you more ways than any quarterback that ever lived, and he's seen a lot of great ones.
Well, that's about as nice a compliment as I think you can get as a quarterback.
Ramsey gives to Collins. Big pile of Denver. And Carl Mecklenburg, number 77, down in the bottom. Mecklenburg said, as a kid, I was cut from everything from hockey and baseball and basketball. I've never taken anything for granted. And he was a 12th round pick of the Broncos. What a steal.
Great overachiever. They move him around, not playing as many positions this year as he has in the past, but has really come back. And Reeves terribly fond of the way that young man is handling his responsibilities.
An interception by Mecklenburg in the second half led to a touchdown. Ramsey over the middle, complete to Fryer, and a first down at the Denver 47, and the Patriots come right back and challenge the Broncos. 24-20 the score with 11.5 minutes remaining.
Well, they take him out injured, and they come back and play. Garenveris hurt the first half. He's back in the game. Fryer hurt on a return. He's back in the ball game.
Franklin returned after.
Franklin, he was hurt. He came back into the game. Elway, we saw him tear that leg up a little. He stayed in the ball game. Not a game for the faint of heart.
Ramsey. Little short toss to Dupard. Was it complete? Yes. Short yardage, 3 yards. Man thought he was out of bounds.
A second official coming up to say, I don't know whether that was a catch or not. It looks like they may give it to him. Let's see if he does drag his feet going out of bounds. Dupard going high to catch that.
2, right?
Well, I don't know whether the knee was out of bounds or not.
No, but he had the right foot down as he caught the ball, and then the left foot skidded before he went out.
Okay.
A big gain of 3. See, who's going to argue over that?
I think the officials want to look at that upstairs. We'll give them a peek at it.
So that'll give Ramsey and the Patriots a chance to reorganize, regroup.
Royal Cathcart upstairs in the replay booth. Now let's freeze it down a little bit. 2 feet is the rule, at least.
There's 1, right foot. Now left foot.
Yeah, I'll agree on that. I'll agree on that. Had he not touched down with that right foot, though, the knee was out of bounds with the second touch. So
that's right.
I would have said no catch.
Ball stands. Continue play. Second down.
And what it's easy not to see is what foot. The foot was down as he made the reception. And of course, the fans reacting to the replay, seeing only the last part of it, and of course, seeing with their hearts anyway.
It was a fourth quarter rally that brought New England back to tie last week.
Mecklenburg again.
That smile tells you everything. 77, Carl Mecklenburg starts outside, not going to be fooled, goes back inside and cuts it off at the pass.
Hockey fan, he says Wayne Gretzky is his favorite athlete in any other sport. Not sure he could quite move around the corners and behind the net the way that Gretzky does, but wouldn't be bad on defense. Ramsey, is it a catch? No. Cedric Jones did not come up with it. So the Patriot drive dies.
Chance to watch that ball sort through the hands of Cedric Jones. Looked like he had it for a moment, but you see it free on the ground. The official on the spot to say no catch. Camarillo will go back to punt. Remember that his first punt of the day, a low snap from a new center, Danny Villa, never got away. Let's see what he does here.
K.C. Clark, Kevin Randall Clark at the other end.
Very high. I think K.C. will let it go.
New England got greedy. They could have downed it at the 3. They tried to get it at the 1, and instead Denver will pick it up at the 20 on the touchback.
Number 28, Jim Bowman, is right there. If he catches that football and stops, it's going to be right there on about the 2-yard line. Watch Bowman, 28. That ball is up in the air. Ball bouncing. He's got a chance right here to tap it back. It looked like it was coming back. He just... Well, time lapse.
And so Camarillo will see Denver with the ball at the 20. First place in the AFC West. The New England Patriots trying to stay within the fight in the AFC East. It's 24-20. Elway's Broncos, and they start from the 20. 10-17 left in the game. Winder. for nearly 10. A flag goes down along with an official.
Looks like a late hit or a face mask to be added to the penalty here.
That it is. It'll be a first down, Denver.
Face mask on the defense, number 28, 5 yards, first down.
28, Bowman trying to make the big play. Again, I think reacting to his missed opportunity to down that ball inside, wanted to come back and make the big play here. Unfortunately, as he dives across, there's the hook on the mask right there. And of course, that's extra yardage, and the ball will be out at the 35-yard line.
Boy, the role of that umpire, Dave Hamilton, you're right there almost in a linebacker position. You see him just behind the linebackers. So I wonder if more of those men aren't injured. First down play, draw to Winder, wide open. First down again, out to the 46 before Steve Nelson can wrap him up. Good block by Keith Bishop, a Pro Bowler of a year ago.
Again, you wonder why it's so open. You have to be so careful with Elway in there, thinking about passing lanes, thinking about the passing game, and then suddenly Denver comes right back and hits you up the gut with the run.
Winder now with 70 yards as he has passed the 500-yard mark on the season, going for a 6th consecutive rushing championship of the Bronco team. Ooh, big hit by Tippett. And he has been a quiet name today. We have not used Andre Tippett's name often. They've done a good job of neutralizing him.
They've spent a lot of bodies on Andre Tippett during the day. He'll come from the right-hand side of your picture, 56. Look at, ooh, boy, you almost couldn't see him. He came in so quickly, really blasting him down. That's 2nd and 9. Big down here. Of course, Denver thinking about keeping that ball in play, eating up that clock. 8:37, 8:36.
Wide open is Bodie. And a first down before Marion can bring him down at the New England 43.
So hard to get to Elway. Not only because of his mobility, because he reads things so quickly now. He said, I know on the second step going back what the defense is. And here they have people wide open coming in on him. The linebacker is free. He just drops it out to the outlet man. And the outlet man knows what to do with it, too. Bodie gets the first down. Bodie's had a big day.
Indeed. You come into Denver today and say Tony Bodie and
who are these
Massey are going to score a touchdown.
Bodie and Massey? Is it the strike team again?
They've done a solid job. That's a mark of the good coaching of Reeves, that his replacement players are ready. And another good first down game as Winder up the middle for 5.
Dick, we talked about the intensity showing itself at the line of scrimmage. Who's winning those battles down there? Well, in the first half, it was New England. Right now, in the second half, it's the Denver Broncos.
Dan Reeves, in his 7th year here in Denver. A man who has shown that you can adjust your style early on. Remember, one of those players thought he was a little too harsh, a little too disciplined, and he listened to them. He made some changes. And now, perhaps there's no more popular coach in the league than Reeves. Inside handoff. Winder fighting into the arms of Julius Adams, the Jewel, number 85. He didn't play all last year, retired after the Super Bowl, went home to Macon to operate his farm, and with the strike this year has rejoined his Patriot teammates. So those viewers who have just joined us to watch Our House, please stay tuned. Our House will be seen in its entirety immediately following a short NBC News special report on the Reagan-Gorbachev summit meeting at the conclusion of this game, except for Mountain and Pacific time zone stations, where Our House will be seen at its regular time. If you're confused, just stay with us. Don't wander away. We'll give you the football game and all the rest of the Sunday night program.
And Wilford Ridley will be here with Our House soon, folks. Don't worry.
3rd and 2.5. And incomplete as Elway had to unload looking for Massey as he was being pressured hard by Rembert and Tippett.
Bowman also in there as the all-out blitz was coming. And Elway wisely electing to throw to an open area of the field, although Massey was a man with a chance to go after that football.
Here's an interesting call on 4th and Elway and the Broncos are going to go for it. Not a field goal that could give them a 7-point lead.
Rod Rust, I'm sure there's a little tightening of the stomach over there. Reeves, I think, feeling he may not pick up that much on the punt, feeling they're outside of Carlos's range.
It would be a 53-yard field goal.
Elway's going to punt.
This Pooch's run. And takes a great roll. How about that? 5-yard line.
Well, what did Sid Gilman say? This guy can beat you in more ways than any quarterback I ever saw.
Look at those faces in the crowd. He's a throwback to the old single-wing tailback. The guys that used to run and pass and kick. The Doak Walkers and the Bob Chappiuses and the Dick Kazmaiers.
Elway just took a couple of steps back. Just pooches that one up in the air, and then you pray for the right kind of bounce on the football. Well, he got exactly that. And New England, 95 yards away from their end of the field.
6 minutes remain. New England trails by 4. And Tom Ramsey, in only his 3rd NFL start, begins from his 5. Comes out throwing from his end zone and looking for Fryer. What a catch right in front of Dan. Nope, no catch, they say. The official took a long time, studied it, and then Fryer comes out limping.
Fryer has had a hip injury, has had a hip problem, and he heads to the sideline. Let's watch a little bit of a bump there. That ball momentarily in the hands of Robbins as Fryer.
That's a catch. Why is that not a catch?
Landing on the sideline. You see Fryer on the opposite sideline. Maybe we can take another quick peek at that.
I don't see why that's not a catch, Merlin.
Let's give him a chance to get the ball. Let's see.
Now he's got possession, control,
got
down.
It in his hands.
And there's the ball.
Well, a question of whether 2 feet were down before the hip lit on the sideline. Yeah, let's see if they blow it dead and take a peek at it. I think they may have done that.
Yeah, they're looking at it.
They're going to take a look at it. What a big play. That completion will take the ball almost out to midfield, about the 45-yard line. The ball momentarily in the hands of...
Both feet are down.
That's Castile, not Robbins, 28. And both the feet are on the ground. You're right. You see the dust coming up from underneath those feet. And unless he's bobbling the ball, now that's the one thing we can't see there.
Fred Silva is going to announce shortly as they still study. He has to talk first. I believe it's the umpire that carries the sound system. You can see the earplug.
Now the question may have been not whether the feet were down, but whether there was a juggling of the football. Now that was not easy for us to tell from here, but the feet have definitely appeared to be down.
Yeah, there couldn't have been much of a juggle because as soon as we see him, he turns over and there's
the ball,
in his
chest.
hands. Yeah. Well, we have one other angle, not a great angle, but blurry.
Well, and a little hidden by Greg Cragen.
Well, that's not going to help anyone. In the meantime, that's a very big call. Either it's 2nd and 10 from the 5, or you have a first down out at midfield.
Well, we might as well show you what else we have. Reaching into our laundry basket. This is the first one you saw, and it's the best one.
There, he's got both hands on the ball, trying to pull it in. He's definitely, his feet are in bounds. You know, and I don't see any juggle, but as you say, we don't see it clearly.
The ball is hidden at that moment, but that is something for the officials to talk about, and the officials up here obviously could not tell either.
Of course, Reeves already has the call. He's already got the card in his pocket, and he wants him to start playing. Can't understand why it's taking so long.
The play stands is called second down.
Oh, that's a tough call. That is really a tough call for New England.
Well, they'll be talking about that one back in Boston, and Ace and the boys at the Embassy Lounge, they're going to wonder about that one.
2nd and 10. Intercepted by Mike Haynes. Mark Haynes, and a touchdown. So you go from a first down at midfield that is not allowed to a touchdown for Denver, and the Broncos build their lead.
Sir Raymond Berry will tell you after this game, Strange things happen to us in Denver. They've been leading here the last 3 times they've played, only to have weird bounces of the ball and strange plays turn the game around. The Iceman, Mark Haynes, touchdown.
And for the Broncos, with this extra point, they've outscored New England 28-3 in the second half. 45 remain, and it's Denver 31, New England 20. Mark Haynes' 3rd interception of the year and his first NFL touchdown by interception.
The ball thrown over the receiver's head, and Haynes, who had read the throw extremely well, an easy touchdown. Who had such a great 4th quarter last week, only to watch the game evaporate in overtime, has to be feeling great pain at this moment.
And Ramsey, yeah, you can't take him back, unfortunately. That's the 4th turnover, and 3 of those turnovers have led to touchdowns in the second half. 2 fumbles and short drives or fumble and a drive of 15, an interception, a drive of 19, and now interception, 14-yard return. We said at halftime, Dan Reeves regards that statistic as perhaps the most critical. He really monitors the turnovers, and he had the problem, his Broncos, the first half. The second half, it's been New England that has coughed it up. Regardless, his kickoffs have been part of the story. Finally, Dupart's going to gamble and try to return one. He's in trouble. Gets to the 11-yard line. Tony Bodie with a tackle. Well, week 13, 3 to go. Green Bay, Joe Montana completed his first 17, going with 5 in a row at the end of the last game. 22 in a row is an NFL record, breaking Ken Anderson's mark of 20 straight, although Anderson got his 20 all in one game, so we'll still share that honor. Quarterback Jim Everett of the Rams, big day, missed on only 6 passes, over 300 yards, and the Rams have won 4 straight. And the Redskins have clinched the NFC East with their win today. The Redskins at 9-3, all the closest is Dallas, Philadelphia, St. Louis, all at 5-7. That's the same pass he called that was intercepted for a touchdown, and it's Collins for 5.
Ramsey buried on that last play, and this is the hurry-up offense that Ramsey used so successfully to come back from that 31-10 deficit in the game against Philadelphia. Ramsey trying to get the plays called. These fans are going to make it tough on him as he drives up the field. You hear him calling the audible, see him stepping in to see if the linemen have it.
Second down, complete, and it's Stephen Starring, his first catch of the game, and he does not get out of bounds at the 30. It is a first down.
Jeremiah Castillo, a man who was also involved in that questionable play on the sideline with Irving Fryer, the man there to defend. And of course, Denver will give those receivers some room. The rule now, do not be beaten deep.
Ramsey, who completed the first 4 passes he threw to start the game, has fallen on leaner times. And misfires on the toss to Collins, who didn't seem to be looking for it.
Collins appeared not to read the timing of the play, had his concentration taken momentarily off the ball, and that ball right in his ribs should have been caught. Collins is a fine receiver.
Just got word that Fryer was out the rest of the game, and I saw number 80 jog into the huddle, so that is not the case. Fryer, who had a hip pointer, is in the lineup.
It's the kind of game that it means so much to these Patriots. They know if they lose today, they're basically out of that Eastern Division race.
Well, they'd be 2 down with 3 to go. Ramsey, trying to hit Derwin Williams, and he was leveled. And meanwhile, Roland Jones and Tom Ramsey says, get the number of that truck.
Watch the end of this play. Michael Brooks, 56, and Rulon Jones, boom, boom.
That's pretty close to that. Whatever happened to that one-step rule? That was pretty close.
Well, I think one of the things they're watching for whether they're really trying to muscle a quarterback, and they were falling on him at that point, but the hits were certainly decisive ones.
3rd and 10. 4 minutes, 24 seconds left, and Denver with a huge second half leads by 11. Ramsey intercepted by Mecklenburg again. Off the deflection from Harden. A flag is down. And it's way back where Ramsey threw the ball.
It was thrown extremely late. Very late.
It could be a roughing call. Let's see.
I don't believe it's a roughing call. It looks like it's going to go against New England.
On the play, New England, number 73, face mask, 5 yards, first down.
Villa trying to keep Rulon Jones out of the backfield. There's Mike Harden. Harden's so happy to be back at safety position. He's the man who bats this ball up into the air. Watch him here as he gets up and taps it, number 31, and then Mecklenburg steals his interception away from him. Look at Mecklenburg. He can't get it down. He's like a truck, rambling. He's like a tractor. Mecklenburg, what's he going to do? He's going to throw it away. Wait a minute. I think the whistle is blown by that point.
Carl Mecklenburg, a big game, and especially in this second half.
Well, Raymond Claiborne, I'm sure, is saying to himself, what is it that happens to us here in Denver in the second half?
Patriots have not won here since 1968. Sammy Winder flag down as Winder is to the 17, and the yellow flag drops right where you usually see a holding call.
And they have not won, at least the veterans have not won this year on the road, although I believe they were 7-1 on the road last year. A great road team last year.
Offense, number 76, holding.
Ken Lanier, big dog, right tackle from Florida State. See them on New Year's Day as well, and some feel that they could be the #1 team in the country. There's some argument down there in the Seminole State.
Well, Dick, as we watched these two teams leave the field at halftime, and you watched the set to Dan Reeves' job, you had a feeling that there was going to be some intense eye-to-eye communication in that Denver locker room. Denver certainly came out, established very quickly the control of the line of scrimmage on offense and defense. It's paying big dividends for them.
So Tony Bodie to the 32-yard line. Let's run down for those of you who might have been away from your television set. Just curious as to the scores of the day. Here are all the finals on 3 field goals. The Colts, San Francisco into the playoffs. Philadelphia loses in overtime to the Giants. Pittsburgh upsets Seattle, a mild upset. Pittsburgh 7-5. Washington has clinched the East. San Diego loses its 3rd in a row, and the Oilers are 7-5. Atlanta surprise in Dallas. Kansas City falls in overtime to Cincinnati. The Rams win again in Detroit. And the final now in from the Coliseum. The Raiders have beaten Buffalo, and New Orleans apparently is going to beat Tampa Bay. That game not a final as yet. Elway misdirection. Through the arms of Kay, the tight end, but Tippett was in his sight line. Now let's look at the AFC West and how important this game was to Denver. With San Diego losing and Seattle losing, Denver with a win would go 8-3-1, and first place, not only first place, but 8-3-1 would represent the best record in the entire American Football Conference. And when you look ahead of the playoffs, that is something you want to have in your pocket to be able to play at home. In the East, Indianapolis is in first place at the moment. Buffalo has lost, so they go 6-6. Jets and Miami in a key game tomorrow. In New England, well, that's why it'd be tough to lose this one and entertain any future hopes. Elway on top. Lepet there to knock it away. No, did he catch it? No. Jackson almost got the rebound.
That ball bouncing out of the hands of Lepet. Much the same as the ball had gone through the hands of Jeremiah Castillo on the sideline. Watch it here. Lepet has his eyes on it. It's right through his hands, and the ball will bounce and then goes into the hands of Jackson for just a second. But Jackson could not contain it. And, of course, if you can't intercept it, for heaven's sakes, knock it down. Don't give that receiver a chance. That's the rule defensively. Lepet, who has become the veteran of those corners with Claiborne's injury, has had a very good year.
Mike Horan said, gee, I love our offense, but I've kicked so little this year that I can't even I don't qualify for the NFL punting list. A little more opportunity today, and he aims this one for the corner, and it's a good kick.
He must have watched Elway kick a few minutes
That's
ago.
right. Now, let's not forget that play. It was Elway's boots punt to the 5-yard line that set up that interception that took the game from 24-20 to 31-20. This game is the property of the National Football League. The Broncos and the Patriots, all rights reserved, and this telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Denver Broncos and the National Football League is prohibited. Well, a difficult task for Tom Ramsey. He starts from the 5, trailing by 11, and there's only 2:45 left, and he has about 2 timeouts remaining. Underneath, Derwin Williams can't get out of bounds. The big play is the tackle by Dennison to deny stopping the clock.
There will be no timeouts here. The plays will be called on the line unless the ball gets out of bounds or is incomplete. Ramsey, very cool. Got to like that about him. He's had a lot of heat in the second half.
2nd and 1. Scrambling away from Roland Jones. And Jones knocks the ball out of his grasp. It goes out of bounds.
The ball is out of bounds. It's New England. No possession. Ramsey thought he was going to be able to get out of bounds, and Roland Jones just put one of those long arms out there and slapped it loose. But before anybody, well, you watch it here. Ramsey pressed out of the pocket. Number 75, Roland Jones, right behind him. At about this point, Ramsey said, I'm going to go out of bounds. But Roland just leaps out there and knocks the ball out of his hands, but can't get a hold of it. Dennison there, number 55. Roland has another shot at it. The ball rolled out of bounds, and it goes back to New England.
Stop the clock with 2:13, but also a loss to New England. Instead of a 3rd and 1, it's now 3rd and 4. Ooh, a quickie to Collins. Collins goes out of bounds to stop the clock with 2:08 left. It's a first down. Randy Robbins, 48, the play for Denver. Well, Ramsey, at 26, 27, he felt that, you know, these are the prime years of my life, and here I am behind Tony Eason and Steve Grogan, and that's the bad news. He wasn't playing. But the good news for him was that Raymond Berry really loves him, and he said, I want to have 3 quarterbacks, even 4. You got Flutie as well. He'll get your chance, and he hasn't. Berry's decision-making is right again.
I got to tell you, too, how many teams in the NFL can expect to win, can believe they can win with a 3rd quarterback? There aren't many. A lot of them don't even have a respectable 3rd quarterback.
Well, they beat Indianapolis 24-0 with Ramsey, and last week in overtime, almost won. Got to get out of bounds now, and wisely does. At the 2-minute mark, exactly 2 minutes remaining here at Mile High Stadium, and some of the fans wearing the orange of the Broncos heading home feeling we're in first place. Broncos do. He's had the highest grade on that. His parents, doctors, he thought about medical practice. He said, you know, my football career is such that if I went into medical school, I'd be away from my kids till I'm 35 or 40. I'm going to find something else to do.
He'd probably be able to do it very well. And, of course, Joe Collier's defensive scheme finds a way to put Mecklenburg in the right position to make those big plays. And a lot of unselfishness on the part of his teammates to let him move from position to position.
Patriots in a scramble at their 24. Time running out. They trail 31-20. Ramsey underneath to Dawson, and then the trailer pitched back to Collins and out of bounds with another first down. Well done. One of the oldest plays in the books.
Now's the time to trot him out. Ramsey still looking at an awful lot of green between himself and the end zone. Looking at 11 points on the board that he's got to overcome. Not an easy task.
Yeah, the real critical plays were 2 back-to-back where Fryer's catch was not allowed. And then the next play, Ramsey threw the 14-yard interception touchdown to Haynes. And this one's up for grabs. And it is an interception. Lying on the ground was Randy Robbins, and it fell right in his lap.
Looked like it was going to fall to the ground, but Robbins, who was laying down there, just... Oh, that's... Newton said something about gravity, didn't he? The ball is going to drop as it's smacked, landed right smack in his stomach. Well, it's the same as if you go up and steal it at the height of the ball. Watch it here. Batted once, hit a second time. Wilson hits it. Cedric Jones hits it, and there's Robbins.
Hello.
Oh, so close to the ground. Now they're going to stop it and take another peek. Of course, the question is, did it touch the grass? Maybe we can take another peek at it.
It certainly didn't look as if it did. I think Robbins did a good job of really getting those hands up above the ground. Yeah, from that
angle's not going to help. Maybe we could slow it down a little bit.
Robbins, the man who initially touched it, so deservedly, finally gets the apple to fall down into that lower branch.
Watch the grass now. Well, I got to tell you, that's awfully close. I don't see any way to turn it around. If you can't turn it around, you let it fly. So I think they'll let it stand. Dick, it would be a shame to leave this broadcast without mentioning that football teams, given time, tend to take on the personalities of their head coaches. And in the case of these two teams, I think that's a marvelous thing. I don't think there are two better men in the NFL than Raymond Berry and Dan Reeves. They teach the kind of ethics, the kind of football that I'm proud to watch and proud to be a part of. And I think it reflects not only on their teams, but on their communities as well. I think both New England and Denver can take great pride in what has happened here today and in the kind of teams that they have on the field.
Well, and for Denver fans, it's all the easier because they apparently are going to be in first place with the best record, and Raymond Berry and the Patriots will go home with a very tough task and a very disappointing flight. But it's an organization headed positively under Berry's leadership. Ramsey, there are his numbers, 4 interceptions, all in the second half. Dupard, most of his yardage in the first half. Play holds. Franklin, 2 for 2, breaking out of his slump. It was the turnover and quick scores that really brought the Broncos into the fore. Elway under 50%, but still 265 yards. Jackson, 4 key catches.
Really good stats the second half, though.
Now just to kill the clock.
There is a shadow hanging over that New England franchise, Dick, and that's the current sale or non-sale of the team, and a question if a new owner takes over of whether Raymond Berry will remain with the team. So there are some unanswered questions in New England.
The Patriots spend a timeout. Winder has what appears to be a first down, and now it's academic for the Patriots. Bruce Armstrong, the rookie tackle. Boy, the history of the Patriots and their tackles. I mean, Holloway and Leon Gray and Haley and Steve Moore, and then they come up with 2 rookies here in Villa and Armstrong. Look like they're going to be fine.
They look like they're going to be players. They really do. Villa not having as much playing time yet as Armstrong, and Armstrong playing with an injured ankle, but they've had some good plays as well as some bad ones here today.
So Denver will be in first place in the West and will play at Seattle, and it'll be a desperate Seattle team losing their last 2 up in the Kingdome. Kansas City at home and then San Diego.
A good schedule except for that tough game in Seattle.
And the Patriots play the Jets at home, then at Buffalo, at Miami, all AFC Eastern contests. They could spoil the fun for someone else.
Well, and they knew that if they could win today, they really had a good opportunity to find themselves at the top of that division.
One thing we do know for sure, Merlin, is the Indianapolis Colts will be sole possessors of first place in the East with a 7-5 mark after today.
Well, it is still home sweet home, and includes a victory today, 32 of their last 38, and the crowd. What a different crowd. A first-half crowd that couldn't believe what they were seeing, and a second-half crowd that right from the very first series was totally involved in the game.
Well, we have a chance. Before we leave the air, we want to give all the final scores for you, and there they are. And Central Division of the AFC, a three-way tie. Cleveland, Houston, Pittsburgh all at 7-5. Washington clinches first in the East. San Francisco's now 10-2. Still no final from New Orleans, but they're playoff bound. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weissman. Coordinating producer for NBC Football, Ted Nathanson. The producer of today's telecast here in Denver, Larry Cirillo. Our game directed by Andy Rosenberg. Coordinating producer of NFL Live, John Filippelli. NFL Live is produced by Tom Roy and Rick Diamond, directed by Bucky Gunts. Technical directors Mike Straminsky and Richard Sanseveri. And here in the booth, our thanks to master statistician Joe Costanza and company, Merritt Cohen, Brad Pearson, Ray Friedman, Cliff Dodge, Phil Olson, cuisine Pierre Wolf, choreography Larry Hester.
Brother Phil bringing his expertise here. Chance to play for both of these teams during his career, both Buffalo or both Denver and New England.
Final play of the game, just the snap to Elway, and that'll do it. So on an off day, John Elway gets a hand from his friends, the defense, and the Broncos are in first place in the West with the best record in the American Football Conference. Next on most of these NBC stations, NBC News Special, preview of the summit with Tom Brokaw, followed by the rest of NBC's prime time Sunday.
Broncos are atop the AFC West, and today here in Mile High Stadium, they host the Kansas City